It is a football Friday night, and it is time for high school football Alabama's After the Game. John Holder with you on this football Friday night presented by the Calhoun County Commission. We've got an action-packed show. We are loaded tonight with special guests, including the Central of Clay County cheerleaders on the way, and a whole lot more. All the scores, tons of highlights from games last night and tonight across East Alabama. We are ready and raring to go. Some big games tonight in non-region play in the Alabama High School Athletic Association. So right now, let's go to our scoreboard. It's the USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard. We'll begin with the game that was played last night at the Field of Champions in Piedmont, and it was the Anniston Bulldogs as they beat Piedmont last night 14-9, the final score in that game. Anniston was down 14-3. They scored late in the game, about 3 minutes to go, but could not pull it out as Anniston beats Piedmont 14-9. Anniston has never lost to the Bulldogs of Piedmont, the Piedmont Bulldogs, in history. Anniston 14, Piedmont 9. We'll have highlights of that game coming. We'll also have highlights of this game. Hoax Bluff up 35-0 at halftime, and they cruise in the second half as they have never lost. Hoax Bluff has never lost to White Plains, and that continues. Hoax Bluff goes into Robertsonville out at Hoax Bluff, and it was Hoax Bluff beating White Plains 42-14. Hoax Bluff 42, White Plains 14. Great game tonight up at J.P. Kane Stadium in Hartselle. Top 10 matchup in Class 6A. Number 6 Hartselle, number 8 Oxford. Oxford led this game 21-7 in the fourth quarter. Hartselle comes back behind their backup quarterback. They score to make it 21-14. They score again. They go for two with about 3 minutes to go in the game. And number 6 Hartselle breaks Oxford's hearts tonight up in Hartselle. Hartselle beating Oxford 22-21. Walter Welborn tonight on the road at Talladega. Welborn beats Talladega 40-7, the final score in that game over at Talladega tonight at Mary Dumas Stadium. B.B. Comer and Sachs playing a little bit further south tonight down at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga. It was B.B. Comer beating Sachs tonight. That score was 42-6. B.B. Comer now 6-0, the number 1 team in the state in Class 2A. Sachs falls to 0-6 as Comer wins the game with no problem in Sylacauga tonight, 42-6. Jacksonville and Ohatchee, two good football teams meeting on the Creek Bank at Ohatchee tonight. Number 7 in 4A Jacksonville beating number 3 Ohatchee 51-6. An impressive win by the Jacksonville Golden Eagles tonight as they knock out the Indians. Also this evening, Alexandria at home against number 3 Central of Clay County, and the Vols continue to roll as they beat Alexandria tonight 48-13. We will have highlights of the Ohatchee-Jacksonville game. We'll also have highlights of the Alexandria Central of Clay County game. And we're scheduled to be joined by the Central of Clay County cheerleaders just a little bit later on, right here on After the Game. Weaver tonight wins big against Asbury. A dominant performance by the Weaver Bearcats as Coach Ken Kofer picks up his second win as head coach of Weaver. Weaver beats Asbury tonight 57-7 out at Bill Bryan Stadium in Weaver. Pleasant Valley tonight loses to Raglan. Raglan comes in and spoils Pleasant Valley's bid for an undefeated season. Pleasant Valley came into this game at 4-0. They had never been 4-0 to begin a season ever in school history. Raglan tonight comes in, though, at Raider Field, and they beat Pleasant Valley 39-6, the final score. We'll have highlights of this game coming up tonight. Number 5, Reeltown. Homecoming in Heflin tonight, taking on the Cleburne County Tigers. Reeltown, number 5 in Class 2A, taking on 4A Cleburne County, and it was all Reeltown. You'll see that in the highlights. Reeltown blasting Cleburne County tonight in Heflin, 68-3. Another bit of a surprise. Randolph County, unranked, 5-0 in the state in Class 3A, taking on the number 8 team in the state in 1A. Wadley tonight at Hewlin-Humphrey Stadium down in Wedowee. It was all Randolph County as Randolph County beats Wadley 49-6. Hanley and Lynette still looking for a final on that game. Number 6 Hanley at home at right field tonight as the 4A Tigers take on the Panthers of Lynette. Leeds, a winner over Sylacauga. Number 6 team in the state in 5A playing at home at Homer Smiles Field in Sylacauga. Leeds beating Sylacauga 48-14. Horseshoe Bend in Fayetteville tonight in New Site. Horseshoe Bend hands Fayetteville their 4th loss of the year as Horseshoe Bend wins 47-14. Big win for Childersburg tonight. Childersburg crosses the Coosa River over to Vincent, and they beat the number 10 team in 2A Vincent tonight 16-14. Childersburg 16, Vincent 14. Oakland and Winterboro, not a final, but late in the game, Oakland was leading Winterboro tonight over in Walker County at Oakland. Oakland leading Winterboro 20-14. Grace Baptist, Tennessee, and the Alabama School for the Deaf, they are playing tonight in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So we will be looking for a final score on that game tonight from up in Chattanooga. Big win tonight for Talladega County Central as Talladega County Central beat Summerton Christian 33-8 tonight down at Howell Cove. That breaks a 28-game losing streak for Talladega County Central as TCC beat Summerton Christian 33-8 tonight. So we are looking for, again, a final score. We'll give you this final score. Cherokee County beats Munford last night 56-10. That was the final score from down at Munford. We will have highlights of that game. We will also have the head coach of the Munford Lions, Michael Easley, in the house. We'll also have the head coach of the Cherokee County Warriors, Jacob Kelly, in the house as well a little bit later on. Eufaula and Pell City. This game is not over, but it's very late. Last report we had about 4 minutes to go in the game. This game was tied late in the game at 32-32. Couple of turnovers by Eufaula, and I should say by Pell City, and Eufaula has turned those into points as Eufaula now leads Pell City 46-32 late in the game down on Lake Eufaula. Victory Christian tonight wins at Galesville 44-14, the final in that game. Moody tonight, the new, number 4 team in the state, the Moody Blue Devils number 5 team, I should say, in Class 5A, beating Shelby County tonight over at Moody 49-6. Great game tonight at Gilbert Stadium at Aniana. Number 9 Aniana in Class 4A taking on 5A Springville. We thought this would be a good game, and it was. Aniana 28, Springville 21, the final from Gilbert Stadium at Aniana. Elmore County hosting St. Clair County tonight down in Eclectic. We're still looking for a final score on that game. Hayden tonight has gone into Ken Logan Stadium in Asheville. They have handed the Bulldogs their 5th loss of the year. Asheville falls to 0-5. Hayden gets their first win of the year as Hayden beats Asheville tonight 30-20. West End wins over Sandrock. You know, Sandrock had won 20 straight games in a row until last year. West End finally broke that 20-game losing streak. They make it 2 in a row tonight as West End wins over Sandrock out at Walnut Grove 27-13. 33 seconds to go in the game. Spring Garden leading Cedar Bluff at Jason Howard Field at Spring Garden 6-0. 33 seconds to go. Cedar Bluff scores a touchdown. They kick the extra point, and Cedar Bluff breaks a 3-game losing streak to Spring Garden 7-6. We'll update that graphic. Cedar Bluff now leads that series 43-6. We've got that updated now. Cedar Bluff had lost 3 in a row. 3 of the 6 losses that they had to Spring Garden all time were in the last 3 years. But tonight, they break that losing streak with a big win tonight. Cedar Bluff 7, Spring Garden 6 out at the Garden tonight. Collinsville, a 47-0 winner over the Gaston Bulldogs tonight. Alan Beckett returning back to Collinsville, where he was once the head coach. And he loses tonight to his old team as Collinsville wins 47-0. Glencoe tonight, winner over Holly Pond. 2nd win of the year for Scott Martin as Glencoe goes to Coleman County. They beat the Holly Pond Broncos to make the Broncos 0-6 on the year. Glencoe wins the game 48-12. Southside and Boaz, this game went to overtime. This was, as far as we can tell, this was the game of the night as it was Boaz leading at Barney Hood Stadium. We'll have highlights of this game. Boaz was up in this game 42-28 over Southside. Southside came back late in the game with 2 touchdowns, and they tie it up at 42-42 was the score as they go to overtime. In overtime, Southside throws the shutout, and they get a field goal, and they win the game in overtime 48-45. Westbrook Christian will also have highlights of this game. They win over Section 56-12 tonight on homecoming over at Jack Osborne Memorial Stadium in Rainbow City. Let's tell you about Coosa Christian and Heritage Academy. Probably no team in East Alabama more in the news than Coosa Christian was today. The day began with a forfeit by Heritage Academy to Mississippi, the Heritage Academy of Mississippi. They forfeit the game to Coosa Christian because they had the death of a student at the school over in Columbus, Mississippi. So Coosa Christian gets the win. Later on in the day, about 5:30 this afternoon, a ruling comes down from the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Turns out that's going to be Coosa Christian's only win of the year. Their other previous wins, they had to forfeit for playing an ineligible player due to the transfer rule. So their non-region win against Spring Garden, their region wins against Valley Head, Decatur Heritage, and Galesville, all now losses. Coosa Christian was going to drop down to 0-5. Now they're 1-5 with that win tonight, the forfeit win over Heritage Academy out of Columbus, Mississippi. Tough loss tonight for Gadsden City on the road in Tuscaloosa. They lose to number 3 in 6A Hillcrest 32-3. Big win tonight for the Sardis Lions. Sardis wins against AP Brewer at home at the Lions Den in Sardis 21-14. Taking a look at some statewide games, number 1 and defending state champion in Class 1A Leroy at home tonight, taking on number 8 in 2A St. Luke's Episcopal out of Mobile. Leroy wins the game no problem, 42-10. Gordo and Pickens County still looking for a final on that top 10 matchup over in West Alabama at Gordo. South Lamar and Sulligent playing tonight, two Lamar County teams playing at Millport. South Lamar number 10 in Class 1A, coming off an upset win over Pickens County last week. Sulligent number 7 in 2A, still looking for a final on that one. Great game tonight. This was another game like the Southside Boaz game. Sylvania and Pisgah. Sylvania undefeated, number 6 in 3A, hosting number 3 Pisgah in 2A, who also came in undefeated. Sylvania was in the North Alabama championship game in 3A last year, getting the championship game in 2A last year. And as it turns out, this game was back and forth, back and forth. Pisgah scored way late in the game, and they upend Sylvania tonight at Rams Stadium 40-34. Pisgah the winner over the Sylvania Rams. St. James and Charles Henderson playing tonight. Another top 10 matchup between a 4A and a 5A in Montgomery. Two Super 7 teams from a year ago playing in Montgomery. Still looking for a final on that one. Top 10 matchup in Class 4A tonight. We do have this final. I don't know if we can get this displayed graphically, but number 1 Andalusia did beat number 8 Bibb County of Centerville tonight. The final score was Andalusia 27, Bibb County 10. That was tonight in Andalusia. We'll get that graphically for you here in just a moment. Also a big game in Birmingham tonight. Auburn was a winner over Ramsey. We got 14-13, but that was actually 14-7. It was actually 13-7. Auburn 13, Ramsey 7. The final score tonight. Number 1 defending 5A state champion Ramsey falls tonight in Birmingham to number 3 in 7A Auburn, who was the 7A runner-up a year ago. There's the corrected final score at 13-7. Pleasant Grove and Parker tonight. Huge game in Jefferson County. Number 4 in 5A versus number 4 in Class 6A, playing each other over at Pleasant Grove tonight. And that was we're still looking for a final score on that game. Also, Thompson and Clay Chalkville, they played last night, ESPN2, a national audience. Number 1 in 7A, defending 7A state champion Thompson, taking on number 2, Clay Chalkville in Class 6A. Clay Chalkville scores a little bit of an upset. They beat Thompson 36-33. And another big game in South Alabama tonight. Still looking for a final in this top 10 matchup in Class 7A between Baker and Dothan. Still looking for a final on that matchup on the west side of Mobile today. Back on high school, there's the final. Baker beat Dothan. We got that coming. Baker beat Dothan tonight 35-14. Baker 35 and Dothan 14. Bringing it back here, well, now we say Dothan. We got that backwards. Dothan beating Baker 35-14. We'll get that one straightened out before the night's over. Number 7 Dothan beating number 9 Baker tonight in Mobile 35-14. John Holder back with you on High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Got a special guest with us tonight, and that is Ron Dober. You know Ron from Ron's Barbecue. And Ron's here to not only talk about Ron's Barbecue, and he brought some great food with us tonight, but also a special announcement about what's going to happen out at Ohatchee next week. Ron, welcome in. Glad to have you with us on After the Game.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Ron, let's talk about food first. We got to get some. We got two important things to talk about. One is food. One is the big thing in Ohatchee. Let's talk about the food tonight. You brought us some great chicken fingers tonight, barbecue and the barbecue sandwiches tonight. Tell folks about Ron's Barbecue. For folks that don't know, Ron's is back, Highway 144 in Alexandria.
13 years.
I talked to because we had a cancel.
Opened before, and then we're back trying to do the same things we did before. It's been a training process, but everybody's catching on, and so we're back in business and rolling.
And supporting us each week, we get Cutter's Pizza. 1 week, the next week we get Ron's Barbecue. Tonight we got Ron's Barbecue. I think we got some video of that somewhere that we can show.
Okay.
I had some barbecue sandwiches tonight. I had some of those great chicken fingers, which Ron knows for years. I love those chicken fingers. Dipped that in some ranch dressing tonight.
I think everybody loved them. They're all gone.
They're all gone.
I think.
Well, we appreciate Ron's and also Cutter's Pizzeria for taking good care of us each and every Friday night. Now, let's also talk about what's going to happen next Friday night out at Roy C. Owens Field in Ohatchee in pregame at 6:30.
Okay, we've got, or I made a proclamation to our county board to have the name Reagan Clark Stadium put out on with Roy C. Owens Field. Coach Clark was my coach when we was in school. That's been 53 years ago. So, and we played for a state championship up in Hazelwood. Of course, we were not successful on that, but anyway, he did so much for so many people, and the other guy, Roy C. Owens, was the same way. So, wish we would have done it 3 years earlier. We tried to do it in the year COVID hit, and Coach Clark was already having some health issues, and we couldn't make that happen. He didn't want to get out into the COVID area or whatever. So, and then we just sort of put it on the burner. But that was trying to get our 50th reunion of our team back together. And so then this came up about maybe, naming the stadium, and that's what we did. We're working on it. It's approved, and it'll be official next Friday night once we get through with everything and a pregame ceremony. And we will have working on having our 53-year bunch back that played for the state championship.
It's going to be a big night, big game. Geraldine coming into town next week, and that's going to be a huge game.
Jacksonville tonight. Wasn't good, but.
Well, back to that, doesn't count in the region as far as the playoffs, so that'll be a big game next week. I want to make something real clear here to folks in talking about this, and that is the fact that there is not a name change.
Correct.
Roy C. Owens Field is still going to be Roy C. Owens Field. This is really an addition. There's not been a name to the stadium ever at Ohatchee, a name to the field, but not a name to the stadium. So you're not losing anything, you're just gaining Reagan Clark Stadium.
And his record was, you may know it better than 93, 44, and 3 in his years at Ohatchee. And in the years of the 70s, I mean, we were in the playoffs almost every year. And like I said, we played for a state championship. And then right after he left is when Jimmy Woods came in and won the 77 championship with our team. So, and then Coach Clark came back. Forgive me, Coach. I don't never call him that.
I'm the same way. I am the same way, Ron. I always want to be respectful and use that coach moniker.
And anyway, he came back in the 90s, and I was told this week that he actually went to the playoffs 5 years in a row, and that had never been done before. And then sort of broke that record last year when we came back and made the playoffs. That gave us 6 years in a row. Running at what we're running right now. So a lot of firsts with him. We were the first team to win 10 games. We were the first team to win 11 games at Ohatchee.
Awesome.
First team to ever go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So saw a bunch of guys tonight. They're excited about it. And I've talked to one of my teammates that lives in Chattanooga. He's excited. He's going to come down. So it's going to be a good night.
Of course, Reagan Clark, legendary coach. We've been talking about Coach Ohatchee, also head coach at Piedmont a couple of years, coach at Asheville. His son, Bill Clark, former head coach, very successful at Prattville and Jacksonville State and UAB. He'll be there, I think, next week, along with his other son, Tony, and his wife, Barbara, will be there as well. For this ceremony that's going to take place. And of course, he's in the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame as well, inducted just a couple of years ago. So certainly a legendary coach. thank you for spearheading.
Well,
You spearheaded the effort. That old Hatchie spear right there that you got on your shirt there, you spearheaded the effort to get this stadium named for Reagan Clark. Appreciate you doing that. Thank you for what you do for this community. People have no idea, not just during football season, Calhoun County basketball tournament and so forth, have no idea how much food that you provide for all the folks here in Calhoun County and how much you support sports.
it's been a fun time, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. So,
Ron Dober, our guest here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game. We come back, we've got tons of scores, highlights, coaches, cheerleaders, all kinds of things coming. We're with you until past midnight tonight on Facebook and YouTube.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad.
Visit a community bank. At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you are an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
My dad taught me to fish right here years ago. But when an old sports injury started slowing him down, I knew we'd need to search for the latest procedures in knee and hip replacement. With physical therapy tailored to his needs, a dedicated team of doctors and nurses, and he'd want a fast recovery time. So where'd he find all that?
Right here at RMC.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
C-H-S! We are the best! C-H-S! We are the best! C-H-S! We are the best! C-H-S! We are the best!
The Central Clay County cheerleaders, Clay Central, made history tonight, making their first ever appearance at Lou Scales Stadium at Death Valley in Alexandria. And it was a very successful appearance by the Vols as they come in and win 48-13. We'll have highlights of that game coming up, and we'll also have more from the Central of Clay County cheerleaders. John Holder back with you on High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Earlier today, After the game, we were out with the Farmers and Merchants Bank Player of the Week at Jacksonville Christian Academy, presenting not only our plaque from Farmers and Merchants Bank, but we also had the jersey from Team Sports, the customized jersey for Noah Lee. There he is holding that up from JCA. Only a 10th grader. Let me tell you about Noah Lee. Last week on the road at Russell Christian in Meridian, Mississippi, a team they had never beaten. Coach Miller telling me today that JCA, in addition to never beating Russell Christian had won 6 or 7 consecutive conference titles. No one in the conference had ever beaten them at home in Meridian. JCA did it last week, 37-6. And in that game, Noah Lee completed 20 of 26 passes, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, also had 1 touchdown rushing in that win. And Noah Lee is from Jacksonville Christian, is our Farmers and Merchants Bank Player of the Week, getting the customized shirt from Team Sports and also getting the plaque. You see that in his hand as well. They're courtesy of Awards to Remember and Farmers and Merchants Bank. Well, we're back here with you on this Football Friday night. We're going to talk some Munford High School football. Coach Michael Short joins me here. He's familiar with the head coach of the Munford Lions, Coach Michael Easley, who joins us on set now. Last night, Munford had a Thursday game, with it being race weekend, played the number 2 team in the state of Alabama in Class 4A. The Cherokee County Warriors coming to town. We'll have highlights of that game a little bit later on. Cherokee County comes in and wins the game 56-10. But Coach Easley, I want to welcome you in at this time, Coach. Glad to have you with us here on After the Game once again. Coach, good evening. We've passed each other in the hallway tonight. A good evening to you as well. Coach, you ran into, obviously, a really good football team last night in Cherokee County.
We did. You know, we knew coming in, and we had some injuries in the previous game that we kind of had to, we had a couple quarterbacks get hurt, so we had to move some guys around during the week and try to find a way to move the ball. And we actually moved our running back, quarterback for the week, and kind of stayed in what I would, if you watched Ohatchee play, something similar to them. I guess that's the best way to describe it. The ugly eagle, as they like to call it. But and Tank did such a good job. He was. Even in the thing I commented on after the game, I told him, I said, you got in there and you had some really tough yards. And there were some times we may have been tackled for a 1-yard loss or maybe only gained 1, but he popped right back up. He led us the whole way. And we were proud of the way our kids fought. Now, they played hard, 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. They played hard the whole game. And we just ran into a buzzsaw. We were outmatched, and credit to Cherokee County.
Well, Coach, I made the comment last night to folks on the sidelines. I really liked the game plan you had. You were snapping the ball with about 4 seconds on the play clock. You were kind of grinding out 4 yards, 7 yards, first down, rattling the chains, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, kind of to speak. As dry as it's been, it literally was a cloud of dust. But I really liked the game plan last night. I thought you had a really, really good game plan and it worked there for the first part of the game until the floodgates kind of opened there. I think a turnover was kind of the big
fumble.
difference.
The fumble back, run back for a touchdown. We just felt like. I told our receivers, I said, look, I'm just going to go ahead and apologize to you. We're going to move a running back, quarterback for the game. We're not going to throw the football. I think we attempted 1 pass, but and they were great. I told some of them after the game, I said, look, y'all were great team players tonight, because their playing time got cut down just because of what we were doing. And we were able to move the ball a little bit. Had some receivers we had to teach running back. In really 1 day of practice last week, and they did a good job trying to pick some stuff up. Like I said, kids played hard. We knew, though, going in, we had to limit their opportunities on offense, and so we were trying to snap everything under 5 seconds. We did that. We were able to eat a lot of clock up. I can't remember how long our scoring drive was. It was somewhere around 6 or 7 minutes is what somebody told me after the game. But, again, we liked the way our kids played as far as our effort goes. We were super physical with them. But we were kind of outmatched, and it was just tough night. And like you said, floodgates opened on that return fumble for a touchdown, and it's just kind of tough to come back from.
Coach, did you teach him all that about the snapping it with 4 seconds to go on the play clock and all that?
Well, I thought he was back in high school. Because we used to keep a stopwatch in our hand and say, now snap it. But what it shows me, being a former coach for a few years, that it's a well-coached football team, because you had to do whatever you had to do to give your team an opportunity, give them the best chance to win, and the odds were not in your favor. But that was a great game plan to do that. Now, one of your coaches asked me, I said, Coach, what do you think? I said, the best thing you saw tonight? Now, this is a coach speaking.
Oh, yeah.
Your last drive before the half was over.
Right.
The last drive, and with 13 seconds to go and the clock ticking and everybody's screaming, right people went out there on the field, got lined up, kicked the field goal, good, and then has to do it again.
Yes,
and
yes.
it makes it, for me, that's the well-coached football team.
Well, you know, and credit, I'll give credit where credit's due. Coach Kilgore and Coach Edwards handle our kind of our substitutions, our third down, get ready on the sidelines, whether we're on offense and they're calling for punt team, or we're calling for punt return, or we're calling for field goal, PAT, whatever it is. They get those guys ready. And so, you know, we're sitting there trying to figure out, we're running a 2-minute offense, running the football every play. And I kept telling the backs, get out of bounds, get out of bounds, get out of bounds. So we were able to burn it. We had one timeout left. So we got down there close enough. And, you know, I laughed about this after the game, but I told Tank, I said, no, whatever you do, run this thing out of bounds. Even if we don't gain yards, get out of bounds. And he saw a hole, so he cut it up. So, and we had to run. They had the field goal team ready on the sideline. So as soon as I called for it, they sprinted out there. I think we snapped it with about 3 seconds left, and Dakota nails a 40-yarder, and then we got a penalty. You know, offsides for the defense. I think I hollered out at Buckaloo, hey, can we just decline it and go into the half? But scooted up 5, and
hit a 36-yard.
And then he hit a 36-yard, and he nailed it. Would have been good. I think he hit that second one better than he hit the first one. But you know, those guys prepare. When we do PAT in practice, sometimes we will go down, and we're always on periods. So we always got our practice clock out there. So if we're getting to the end of the period, we don't do it every single week, but some weeks when we got about 15 to 17 seconds left on the clock, we'll move them back up to PAT range or a short field goal range and start counting down to make them run up there and get down and you know, try it. And credit to all our kids, though, the snap. And if you watch it on film now, the ball, credit to our holder now.
Yes.
Yeah,
when he got that thing down with 0 time to spare, because if you watch the hold and the kick on film, there was no time to spare at all. So credit to our all 11 of them on our field goal team. Credit to our coaches, assistant coaches that got them ready on the sidelines. And every person who was supposed to be out there was out there. So I mean, that's just, I give credit where credit's due. Those guys did their job, did a good job with it.
That's a sign of a well-coached football team.
Well, I got good assistants.
And they played hard.
Our kids played hard, and that's the thing about it. A lot of people probably going to look at the score and say, well, you lost 56-10. Our kids played hard, and we were just, you know, we were very limited offensively. We were outmatched in several areas with the guys we had out injured, and, you know, but, hey, our kids fought all game long. They played physical all game long. We were a little sore this morning, and we came in, did ice baths and recovery drinks today. About 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock this morning, but you know, it was a tough physical game from both sides. It just, at the end of the day, the scoreboard didn't look good on our side.
Coach, and both of you guys can talk about this a little bit. The good thing, a couple of silver linings. One, it wasn't a region game. Yeah. Second thing is, that game, I would think, is going to really prepare you for some of the teams you're about to see, like a Hanley, you know, like a Jacksonville,
yeah.
Those kind of teams, because from the talent standpoint, if anything else, you're going to see a Hanley team and a Jacksonville team who maybe have as much or maybe even more talent at some positions than even what Cherokee County had. So, you know, it's a good game to help you prep, I think, for those games you got coming up.
No doubt. I talked about it at Media Day. You know, I used to hear him talk about it as a head coach, saying, hey, we're going to play some tough non-region games to get us ready to hopefully be a playoff team. And last year, we played our best ball week 6 and week 7, week 8. I credit a lot of that to playing Cherokee County week 5. And, you know, the score wasn't, you know, you look at the scoreboard, it wasn't really close last year when we played them, but it was a tough game. And, you know, we got out of it what we needed to last year, and it kind of set our wheels in motion week 6, 7, and 8 last year, where we had a big win over Lincoln last year and really played our best ball that week 6. We played really good against Jacksonville that next week, and then beat White Plains the next week, and that was really our best stretch of ball. But I go back, I attribute a lot of it to playing Cherokee County week 5, and just, you know, we got to playoffs, and when we're in the playoffs, and credit to ACA, they were a good team, but we'd seen that all year long in the region, so it wasn't anything that, you know, we hadn't seen before.
And the one pass you attempted, it wasn't that bad, Coach.
You know what? And
he might have a chance.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna be real honest about this. I didn't know he could throw it that far, and so Tuesday in practice,
he was pumped.
Listen, jokingly, he said, "Hey, Coach, you gonna let me throw one?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna call it right now." So I called it. I believe I called it in the huddle, sent him out there the first play, and we ran it, but and he chunked it in practice. And I said, hey, we're going to put that in. So that's, you know, credit to Tank. He said, hey, Coach, I can throw it downfield. And the only thing I told him, I said, throw it where he catches it or nobody catches it. And Austin about went up and got it last night, about had a touchdown on it.
Coach, before I let you get out of here, We were talking earlier about Ron's barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
You and I were talking about Ron's barbecue. So I got to ask you here, of all the things on Ron's menu, what's the favorite?
I love his chicken fingers, but you know, Coach Short brought it up earlier, that peanut butter cake now.
Good man,
Listen, it's hard to beat. I told Ron, you know, he came out and met me tonight, and when I was coming in, I said, you know what? They told me you was catering tonight. That's the reason I came to do the show.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir. Glad to be
Best
here.
wishes to you the rest of the way.
Your
team fights hard.
Thank you,
Good
Coach.
stuff.
I appreciate it.
Coach Michael Short with us. Coach Michael Easley of the Munford Lions with us. Let's talk about Fields of Faith, which is coming up now Wednesday night. This is going to be at Choccolocca Park with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Cole Limbaugh was with us last week talking about this. This will be 6 o'clock at Choccolocca Park. You see that just off Leon Smith Parkway in Oxford. Bring your lawn chair. This is going to be a great event, student-led ministry. There'll be music. They're going to have pizza there. They're going to have games to play. They'll have cornhole and all that going on. A great speaker, all kinds of things going on, totally free. If you're in junior high, high school, or college, you need to be at Choccolocca Park on the soccer fields Wednesday night for Fields of Faith. Go to fieldsoffaith.com to find out more information. And it's time for our first extra point of the night, presented by the folks at Red Threads. White Plains forfeited last Friday's game at Anniston, and according to the AHSAA, the Wildcats are now ineligible for the state football playoffs. The AHSAA state schools must play all other participating schools in its region to qualify for the championship program. If a school in a given region fails to qualify for the playoff program, a game with that school will be treated as a non-region game. The first 4 places in each region, of course, will be determined by the won-loss percentage against qualified region opponents. What all that means is, therefore, all games versus White Plains this season will be considered non-region games by its region opponents and will not count in the Class 4A Region 4 standings. We promised you more of the Central of Clay County volunteer cheerleaders. Our special guest tonight, coming all the way from down in Clay County.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welber Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ, a place to use the gifts and talents God has given you, a place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
And we are back on high school football, Alabama's After the Game on a Football Friday night. Let's talk about USA Softball. Fantastic, folks. USA Softball of Alabama bringing you our scoreboard here each and every Friday night. They're the national governing body of softball in the United States. And here in Alabama, you can go to usasoftballofalabama.com. That's the place where you can find out what's happening with all the tournaments that they have going on. Even in the fall, they have tournaments happening. And you want to find out anything about USA Softball here in the state of Alabama, go to usasoftballofalabama.com. USA Softball of Alabama bringing you our scoreboard each and every Friday night right here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. It is highlights time, team sports highlights, as we welcome in Chad Barnett for the first time this evening, along with Coach Short, a game that I was at tonight. Let me just say, I don't like to give coaches advice because I'm not a coach, and they know a lot more than I do. But I've got a piece of advice for every coach in East Alabama. We've got coming up, we're going to sign new 2-year contracts, right? We got reclassification coming.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, and you coaches out there that are thinking about you trying to line up some non-region games, do not call Reeltown. Nope. Do not call Reeltown. Reeltown tonight came to Cleveland County, homecoming, great crowd, beautiful evening, great atmosphere, probably the best atmosphere I've been to this entire football season, Chad.
Yeah, it's a good one. But
and Reeltown.
Reeltown, yeah, they're pretty good. Cleveland County entering tonight's matchup. They're 3-1 of the season, but they've got to meet a lot of the meat of their schedule still to come. 5th-ranked Reeltown coming into town tonight, but then also second half of the season, they still got Jacksonville, Handley, Anniston, Welborn, all those games looming. So tonight was a big one for them to get on the winning track again. Nadia Houston, homecoming queen for the Cleveland County Tigers. Always good to see the homecoming queens out there getting honored. And now we see the LED light show, man. Coach, you left. They got fancy, man. What's all this?
Got more money.
They got more money. LED light show as the Tigers come running out, and Reeltown will take it from there as they have the first play from scrimmage. Arthur Woods, he's going to go 65 yards for the touchdown for Reeltown. The PAT is going to be no good. Reeltown's up 6-0. Cleveland County on the ensuing kickoff. Silas Hunt is going to take this one back 29 yards. Nice little return. About to the 35. And then Reeltown's Arthur Woods with an 11-yard run as Reeltown's back on offense now. Xavier Thomas this time. 54-yard run by Xavier Thomas down to the Cleveland County 8-yard line, and they are set up first and goal from the 8. Next play, Cat V. Martin for an 8-yard touchdown run. 2-point conversion would be good. Reeltown leads 14-0. Reeltown, Xavier Thomas now. 17-yard pass to William Hornsby. Now Woods, this time for 47 yards. Telling you, big play after big play. They are fast, and they come in number 5 in the state, and this is the reason why. Very quick on the ground. That's going to put them up by 20-0. Cleveland County head coach Joby Burns. Cleveland County's Hunter Gore now with a 19-yard pass. Completes to Kendall Miller. Back on offense, this time a 4th and 9 at the Reeltown 27-yard line. Hunter Gore passes for a loss of 7 yards, turnover on down. And you know what? Next week is coming soon. And tonight, 68-3, Reeltown wins tonight at Cleveland County.
I'll tell you, I think there's a matchup coming, guys, in Class 2A. There's got to be a matchup coming between Reeltown and B.B. Comer. It's got to be coming at some point in time in the state playoffs. I mean, this is going to be, if there's two better 2A football teams in South Alabama, that's going to be pretty scary because, again, all you coaches out there, do not call Reeltown looking for a non-region game next year. And if you are 2A and you happen to be put in the region with these guys, wow. Xavier Woods tonight was unbelievable.
Yeah, he looked good.
They've got they were talking about a 3-headed monster, 4-headed, 5-headed monster. Reeltown, really, really good. Undefeated, 5-0, ranked number 5 in the state in Class 2A. Boy, if there's 4 teams better than Reeltown in Class 2A, I'd like to see them. If I sound impressed, I am impressed by Reeltown.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to see it, but I saw enough right there watching that, and the scores were coming in to me pretty quick where I was at tonight. And like I said, just seeing that guy, he can run, and they tell me they got 3 of them just like him. I watched some film this week of them, before. So they've got 3 or 4 guys that can, and they got some guys that can run up and catch the ball. What would be semifinals? More than likely, probably.
Well, it depends on
wherever they meet. Yeah, wherever they meet.
Semis probably somewhere.
Yeah, wherever they meet, I'd like to be there because that'd be a war.
It would be a war.
I think before the night we all kind of put B.B. Comer on this pedestal because they are really, really, really good. Does this kind of change things to think, okay, now we see they've got some competition here?
Yeah, I think Reeltown can stay on the field with them. I think it'd be one heck of a great game. Might be one of those deals where it's maybe. That might wind up being the state championship game. They're so solid. Defensively, they tackle well. They've got great speed, got a good quarterback. They got a lot of weapons. Very well coached team. Got a lot of size, got a lot of depth for a 2A school. They've got the complete package. I'm just telling you, I was really double dog impressed tonight by the Reeltown Rebels. I think all the folks in Heflin were as well. And it's not like Heflin hasn't seen these kind of teams before. You look at that 68-3, and Heflin's in the same region now with Hanley and Jacksonville and Anniston. So they've seen this kind of competition before, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of 4A and 5A schools in this state that would lose to Reeltown.
And Reeltown's done it before. It's not like they haven't been there. It's down there in Notasulga. I mean, those guys know how to play football down there, know how to play a physical brand of football. So you did like the atmosphere tonight. It looked neat.
It was probably the best atmosphere that I've been to this year, to be honest with you. It had the lights blinking on and off. It was homecoming. The place was packed. Hard to find a seat on the home side. We checked out the concession stand. By the way, our concession stand of the week's coming up. Barbecue French fries tonight over there. You're going to see some of that. That was outstanding. Just the entire atmosphere there was great tonight on both sides. Band, cheerleaders. You'll see some of the Cleveland County cheerleaders a little bit later on. Just an outstanding atmosphere on homecoming tonight. Homecoming, as you know, coaches, is special at Heflin. And not that it's not special in other places, but it's really special at Heflin.
It is. It always has been. They do a 25-year reunion. So every year, them people are counting. All right, who's the 25-year class? I think it was 99. Class of 99 tonight. So they all come back, and they have a big crowd of them that come. And they had a few other things.
Yes, tell us about that, Coach. A couple other special recognitions tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I was the coach at Cleveland County, Davis Draper was our band director for 12 of those years. And Davis retired in 2014. He's from Wellborn. Y'all know my wife was from Wellborn. And Davis tragically passed away at the end of June. And tonight, his wife, Deborah, who went to school with me and graduated with me, we both married Wellborn guys and gals. And tonight, they dedicated the halftime to Davis there at the ball game, had them out on the field before the game. Deborah went to school at Heflin. All 5 of their kids graduated from Heflin, so they're Heflin people now. And then, tragically, this week, the voice of the Tigers. If you go to hear the intro before the ball game, you hear Richard Harlan. He starts it. He did it for 20 to 30 years, and Richard retired probably about 10 years ago from being our PA guy, but he was the voice of the Tigers, and Richard passed away this past Wednesday. And they had a moment of silence between the quarters, and they played his little intro that he does. And see, he was in the community choir with my wife. And I can't help but think that my wife and Richard are praising the Lord tonight.
Amen.
Singing.
Well, we were there for that, and one of the neat things they did, they now have the ability to do this. They actually, at the end of the first quarter, when they played that snippet of some of his great calls and had that moment of silence for him, they actually were able to turn the lights off in the stadium, half of the lights off, so kind of dim the atmosphere to get everyone's attention and kind of bring the lights down for that moment of silence, and then bring them back up when the moment of silence was over with. So that was a nice touch with those lights, Coach. You couldn't do that with old lights. You couldn't do something like that, but with this, they were able to put that little nice touch to that moment of silence.
Technology is nice to have, but I was glad they were able to do that and pull that off, because Richard Harlan was Cleveland County football, and he was in the band at Cleveland County. So he was, he was always a big part, just like Davis Draper was. And the Grand Marshal for the parade was Gary Harris. And Gary Harris was, oh my goodness, 25 years the band director at Cleveland County.
And he's a big fan of this show.
He is.
Absolutely.
He absolutely was. And after him was Sweeney.
Yeah, Dave Sweeney.
David Sweeney.
Good friend of mine as well.
We had I know they didn't turn out tonight the way they wanted to, but a lot of special people tonight were honored.
Absolutely. Let's tell you about team sports. Team sports brings you our highlights, just like you saw the highlights of the Cleveland County Reeltown game tonight. Let's tell you about team sports located out at McClellan. They are the place to go. They serve 100 schools, and they have every brand you can imagine, all the name brands. Armour, Wilson, they have Rawlings, they have Rydell, The Game, all of that and much more. They provide all your sporting goods needs, apparel, jerseys, accessories, equipment, everything from scorebooks and jerseys to basketball goals and tackling dummies. And they are about ready, very close to opening up on McClellan at 135 Exchange Avenue, their retail center where the public can go in, and it's going to be very nice. I've been in there and they're very close. Team Sports, they also bring you that jersey every week. They produce that we give to our Farmers and Merchants Bank Player of the Week. And they presented that today. David Dearman was along with us up at Jacksonville Christian today to present that to Noah Lee. When we come back, we'll continue with more scores, highlights, guests, a whole lot more. We're just really getting started here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
There's a lot to think about when you're having a baby. Colors of the nursery, names, and most importantly, where to deliver.
We want a hospital that gives families a more personalized birthing experience.
With a compassionate team of doctors and nurses, and a hospital where my baby and I can instantly bond with all the comforts of home.
So where do we find all that?
Right here at RMC, the first designated baby-friendly hospital in Alabama.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Aniston.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Westbrook Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
High school football, Alabama after the game. Let's go back to our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard. Got all the final scores in, I do believe. Anniston last night beating Piedmont 14-9. Highlights of that game still to come on after the game. Also highlights of this game. Hoax Bluff tonight goes into White Plains. Mike Robertson at Robertson Field. You figure he would be comfortable there. He was. As Hoax Bluff beats White Plains 42-14. Highlights of that game coming tonight. Also this evening, number 6 Hartselle comes from behind. They were down 2 touchdowns. They scored 14 points, actually 15 points, as they win the game with a 2-point conversion with about 3 minutes to go in the game, as Hartselle beats Oxford 22-21 tonight up at Hartselle. Walter Welborn wins at Talladega 40-7 this evening. B.B. Comer, a big winner over the Sacs Wildcats. Number 1 team. We talked about B.B. Comer in Class 2A beating Sacs 42-6. Jacksonville will have highlights of this game coming. Number 7 team in 4A routing Ohatchees tonight 51-6 on the Creek Bank. Highlights of this game coming in just a couple of moments. Number 3 Central of Clay County over Alexandria 48-13 at Death Valley. Weaver tonight, big winners over Asbury 55-7. It was Raglan upending Pleasant Valley, handing Pleasant Valley their first loss of the year tonight out at Raider Field. Raglan 39, Pleasant Valley 6. You just saw highlights of number 5 and 2A Reeltown's 68-3 win over Cleburne County. Randolph County beats number 8 and 1A Wadley tonight 49-6. This is a new score. Hanley, the number 6 team in 4A, at home tonight in Roanoke. They beat Lynette 42-27. Leeds, the number 6 team in 5A, a winner over Sylacauga tonight 48-14. Horseshoe Bend rolls over Fayetteville 47-14. It was Childersburg beating Vincent tonight. Bit of an upset here. Number 10 Vincent in 2A falls to Childersburg 16-14. Oakman, this is a new score. They beat Winterboro tonight over in Walker County 34-6. Grace Baptist Tennessee and ASD still looking for a final score on that game being played in Chattanooga tonight. Talladega County Central, Tommy Wood called this all week long. Tommy's going to join us in just a moment here live on the set on Before the Game last night. He said the 28-game losing streak ends for TCC, and it did. Talladega County Central, a big win tonight over Summerton Christian 33-8. Cherokee County over Munford 56-10. The head coach of the Cherokee County Warriors, Jacob Kelly, is in the house. We're going to talk Cherokee County football and look at highlights of that game from last night down at Munford. Tonight, 32-32 in the fourth quarter, but Eufaula takes advantage of 2 Pell City turnovers, and Eufaula beats Pell City 46-32 tonight down in Barber County at Eufaula. Victory Christian rolls over Galesville tonight 44-14. Moody, a big winner over Shelby County. That was 49-6 tonight at Moody. Aniana holds off Springville 28-21 at Gilbert Stadium in Aniana this evening. This is a new score. Elmore County goes to 4-1 as they beat the St. Clair County Saints 50-14 tonight. Hayden beats Asheville 30-20 over at Asheville. West End tonight makes it 2 in a row over Sandrock as they beat the Wildcats 27-13 at Walnut Grove. Spring Garden led 6-0. Cedar Bluff scores with 33 seconds to go in the game, and you say the kicking game doesn't matter, it's not important. Cedar Bluff kicks the PAT and they break a 3-game losing streak to Spring Garden tonight at the Garden. Cedar Bluff 7, Spring Garden 6. Collinsville tonight rolling over Gaston 47-0. Glen Cove gets a big road win at Holly Pond 48-12. In overtime tonight, Southside comes all the way back. They were trailing in the fourth quarter to Boaz 42-28, and they score the last 20 points of the game as they win tonight over the Boaz Pirates 48-45 in overtime. Highlights of that game coming. Highlights of this game coming. Westbrook Christian beating Section 56-12. Coosa Christian, we'll talk more about this, had a forfeit win tonight over Heritage Academy out of Columbus, Mississippi. Heritage had a player that actually passed away, or actually a student that passed away at their school, so they forfeit that game to Coosa Christian tonight. Hillcrest of Tuscaloosa wins over Gadsden City. Hillcrest number 3 in 6A in Tuscaloosa tonight over Gadsden City 32-3. Sardis a big win at home against AP Brewer 21-14. Statewide games tonight. Number 1 in Class 1A Leroy beating number 8 in 2A St. Luke's Episcopal 42-10. Pickens County over Gordo. Wow, number 7 team in the state in 1A beating number 5 in 3A Gordo 52-8. It was Sulligent over South Lamar. Again, a top 10 matchup here. One team in 1A being a team in the top 10 team, the number 7 team in 2A being the number 10 team in 1A South Lamar 41-12. Awesome game tonight at Sylvania. Sylvania number 6 in 3A hosting number 3 in 2A Pisgah. Two schools about 8 miles apart. Pisgah scores late in the game in a back and forth game to win it 40-34 over the Sylvania Rams. Charles Henderson and St. James, two teams that were in the Super 7 last year. Charles Henderson beat St. James tonight in Montgomery 36-13. Andalusia and Bibb County, a top 10 matchup in 4A. Number 1 defending state champion Andalusia beats Bibb County 27-10. Auburn tonight goes in and knocks off number 1 in defending Class 5A state champion Ramsey in Birmingham 13-7. Also, Pleasant Grove beat Parker. We were looking for that score 22-21. Number 4 in 5A beats number 4 in 6A. Pleasant Grove over Parker tonight. That was by a score of 22-21. Last night, Clay Chalkville outscores Thompson 36-33 at Alabaster last night. And tonight, we finally got this straight. Top 10 matchup in 7A tonight on the west side of Mobile, out Airport Highway. Number 9 Baker, the Hornets fall to number 7 Dothan as Dothan made the trip all the way over from the Wiregrass. They beat Baker tonight by a score of 35-14. Let's tell you about the folks at Young Oil Grub Mart, great supporters of high school football. They have locations all across East Alabama. As a matter of fact, they're in Center, they're in Cherokee County, they're in Calhoun County, they're in Etowah County, they're even down in Lee County. They've got multiple locations in the Auburn-Opelika area. If you're going down to the Auburn-Georgia game, check out Grub Mart. They've got locations in both Auburn and Opelika. The Grub Mart folks, they've got great fuel, the Super Saver card, the Marathon Rewards card. Check out their website at grubmart.com. Jobs available. They've got farm and industrial fuel as well. All kinds of great things going on with Young Oil Grub Mart as they bring you each and every week our muscle team. They get the muscle team shirts. And our muscle team from last week, that offensive line from Cleburne County High School in Heflin. We mentioned Tommy Wood a couple of times. You see Tommy right there with the Cleburne County offensive line at their homecoming pep rally yesterday, as a matter of fact. We even got a member of KISS, I think, who made his way to Heflin there in the center. Who are these guys on that muscle team from Cleburne County, the offensive line? Well, you got Will Johnson, Braden Beam, Cy Altman, Aiden Richards, Ty Nolan, Kendall Miller, Cashton Robinson, and Dylan Mize. Last week, in that win at home against Munford, 37-21, Cleburne County rushed for 461 yards, including 273 yards in the second half. And our Young Oil Grub Mart muscle team from last week, the Cleburne County offensive line. When we come back, we're going to talk about Central Clay County Volunteers, an impressive win tonight out at Alexandria. Tommy Wood joins us, and we'll be back with more of High School Football Alabama's after the game in just a moment.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit Debit Card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
The longest established used car dealer in East Alabama is Pee Wee Turner Motors, located 512 South Quintard Avenue in Anniston. Call them at 237-4649. Visit them tomorrow. Check them out online at peeweeturnermotors.net. They are on South Quintard Avenue, as we said, in Anniston. 54 years of service here in East Alabama, selling strong quality late model vehicles. They also, you can rent a car there. You can rent a Penske moving truck. You can rent a Cruise America RV as well, all at Pee Wee Turner Motors, South Quintard Avenue in Anniston. Back on high school football, Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. As promised, Tommy Wood here. Tommy, of course, from before the game. Hope you watch that each and every Thursday night at 7 o'clock, live on Facebook and YouTube as well. One of the more talented, if not the most talented, play-by-play guys in the state of Alabama. Tommy, you were out at the Clay Central game tonight with Alexandria out at Death Valley. There's no.
See? Look at that. There we go.
He's a Vol guy, no doubt about that.
I'm a fan tonight. I'm a fan.
He's a fan. His daughter's in the band. His son played there a couple of years ago. They win the game tonight, 48-13. Before we get your thoughts on the game, Chad Barnett has the highlights for us from Death Valley.
Let's talk about it. I tell you, Central Clay coming in red hot after their big win over Handley last week. You know, they're up to number 5 now in the state, thanks to a defense that's only given up about 8 points per game. A couple other things, reasons why they're pretty good too. Let's go to the highlights tonight out in Death Valley. We get there in the second quarter. It's 27-0. Clay is on top. They just put one in right before we got there. This is the ensuing kickoff. Not a lot of bright spots for Alexandria tonight, but I tell you, Elijah Hunter ran the ball hard. This is a great kickoff return back to midfield. That drive would, though, stall as Aiden Stewart is going to step in front of this pass, pick it off, and give Central Clay first down in Alexandria territory. And that's where we would pick up for the run game. And Damian Cosby, I know we're going to talk about him in a little bit. Man, he is shifty and good. He takes this one to the house for a touchdown. 34-0. Central is on top. And the ensuing kickoff, look at this shot right there. I had to put it on there. Drive didn't mean anything. It just ended like that. But it was a flag for targeting. Denzel McNeil with a massive hit. Big play. So we go to halftime. It is still 34-0. Ensuing kick of the second half, we have some fireworks. Coach, we were talking in the break. You said that's the next big guy. Well, LaDamian Boyd is going to take this one back to the house. You see him check up just a little bit there. It's almost like he saw when the flag hit. You saw the frustration. He knew he had all that work for nothing, so he goes back. No points, but Central would go back to the offensive ground game, and more Cosby back to the ground. This is a heck of a run over the left side, breaking multiple tackles, refusing to go down. He does go down at the 15-yard line, so Central set up with a 1st and 10. From there, they're going to go back to the ground again. Deshaun Gibbons, he's going to take this one down to the 1, out of bounds just before the pylon. Could argue he was there. And then they're going to give it back to Cosby, who will finish off this drive. 41-0. But hey, let's not just talk about the guys with the ball in their hands. How about these fellas? We're talking about some beef across the front for Central. I had to give them some love because they were punishing all night. Phenomenal offensive line for Central Clay. And after that, the defense pretty much just stiffened up again for Central as they would get another pick. Defense was the key down the stretch. This is even with the backups in. They are deep and good as the Vols are impressive tonight in Death Valley, 48-13.
Chad, you got to see tonight in person what Coach Short and I got to see last week and what Tommy gets to see every week, and that's a doggone good 5A football team.
That's a fantastic football team. They got a little bit of everything, defense and the depth we talked about too. But, I mean, I saw Jacksonville tonight. Very good 4A team. Their line is just comparative. Like, when you see Central's offensive line comes out there, they're different, and they punished tonight.
You know what people don't mention? Their kicking game. I just watched another kickoff return for a touchdown.
Right.
I think we saw one last week that probably turned the game around. That kickoff return they had against Hanley.
Well, don't believe what Coach Horn says, that he doesn't do any coaching anymore. It's all assistants. He's taking over the special teams, and that's pretty much what he's running right now. It takes, again, he is focusing on the special teams. He's the guy that sets up the blocking wedges and things like that. But, yeah, you saw the kickoff return tonight. That has been a big bonus this year for this Central Volunteer team.
Well, they know that deep down inside, that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round, you're going to have to win a game. You're going to have to steal a possession with an onside kick or a block punt. You know, and those good teams do that.
Yeah, and the guys kicking the ball, Aiden Young has done a great job on field goals and kickoffs this year. He uses a lot of, he's one of those that understands I can't kick in the end zone, so they use a lot of directional kicks. And he's cutting the field in half, and that is really, the coverage is always there. He's got, you know, we always talked about Horn back in the days when it was Clay County High School back in the mid-90s. He had those kickoff guys that covered like their hair was on fire. And he put some of his top players on there, and you see tonight, they're crashing down there, and again, the coverage, they take great pride in that.
Tommy, I think that one of the things that I've noticed through the years about a Danny Horn team, and Coach Short can back me up on this, and Chad too, I've never seen a Danny Horn team that got worse as the season went along. They improve week to week to week. So what's the improvements you've seen from week 1? You've seen them play all these games. We're at the midpoint of the season now. What kind of improvement have you seen? I guess where have you seen the most improvement since week 1 to right now?
Well, I'm going to tell you, in the beginning of the year, the running back, LaDamian Boyd, there were some question marks because, you know, last year we had Terry Heflin who graduated, and he contributed about 80% of the offense, I think, last season. So LaDamian Boyd was a big question mark going in. Can he hold up? Can he make the big plays? Does he have the speed? You know, we knew he had some moves inside, very quick, very tough runner. He's averaging over 12 yards a carry this season, and he's well over 700 yards. They ran for 398 tonight in this game against Alexandria, and you saw some highlights there of Damian Cosby. He got injured in the first game, hurt his ankle, and they've been waiting to get him back as the number 2 back. He is going to be behind him, so he's going to bring in a lot of the depth that they've been waiting on.
A lot of teams,
and look,
he's shifty.
He can go
and runs hard.
Yeah, so getting him back tonight was a big boost. And like I said, LaDamian's had to carry the share of the load because the number 2 guy has been down with an injury. But after that ankle got feeling a lot better tonight, and you saw the way he runs.
Well, let's give some love where it needs to go.
Please go with him.
Because all
I know where we're going.
All last year in the off season, all summer when I was doing the radio down there, is how bad that offensive line is going to be. But I tell you what, after what, and Coach Williams and Coach Rusty Taylor and all them would say how bad that offensive line is going to be. That's not a bad offensive line. They've gotten better week after week.
When I went to the spring game at Haralson County, and I walked away and said, that's one of the better offensive lines I've seen in a long time at Clay Central. Keep in mind now, 2 of these guys earned their spots during the summer. They're both sophomores. Two of the larger guys, and the big guy in the middle, Brian McKinney, who's the center, which we
looks
label
like a tackle.
Well, we call him the biggest center in football.
Yeah,
he's 6'2", 355. He's down to 355 now, and so
he's down to 355.
Yeah, he's lost about 15, but he's down to 350, and he has done a great job now. Still learning how to snap, but he can get a push. And I asked the quarterback last week. I said, "How is it when you come up, they call a quarterback sneak, and you're sitting there going, I get to get behind this guy?" He said, "I just pick which cheek to go and I just follow it." And I mean, this guy can get, he's good for 2 yards coming off the ball.
Do you think that they worked a little bit this past week on shotgun snaps?
Yeah, but we still had one bad one. But,
just one?
Yeah,
okay.
just one, but we cut them in half. Last week was 2 bad ones, but yeah.
But when they have 2 bad ones, that means we're going wishbone.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And
they're not going to get in the shotgun on the 1 yard line and snap it 10 yards deep. It ain't going to happen.
It's not going to happen. No, you're going to go to the wishbone and you're going to come out.
There's a reason I said that.
You're going to power it.
Speaking of 5A football, time now to take a look at our Team 1 Chevrolet Gadsden, our region rundown. And we're going to obviously spend time here in 5A. Alexandria's in 5A Region 6, Central Clay County in 5A Region 4. Let's begin with Class 5A Region 4. These are the update standings. Of course, no region games played tonight. You see the overall records there, though. We won't spend a whole lot of time here, but Central Clay County, certainly the only team undefeated in both region play and overall. It appears right now, Tommy, as you head to the back half of the season, this is only a 6-team region here. The only team you would think that probably could challenge the Vols is Valley.
And that's next week. Coming to Volunteer Stadium. We know the Rams are going to be good. Goes Cam Dooley, the quarterback. He plays a little bit of everything. He's in the secondary. They really pushed us to the limit last year. So coming to our place, I think there's going to be a big focus this week because this, to me, you have to say, looking at the region, this is for the championship.
Class 5A Region 6 now. That's the Alexandria region that we talked about. Southside with a monster win tonight, coming from behind against Boaz in the fourth quarter to win. Just a huge win for the Crimson Panthers there. Still a lot to be decided in this region. Leeds and Moody still have to play each other. Alexandria still got some big games going to Leeds, going to Southside. Guys, this region still really wide open for all 4 positions in this region.
I'll take it. All right, so I know we kind of harp on it a lot about losing their quarterback in week 2, I think.
Yes.
But Southside,
week 1 actually. Well, week 2 for them, yes.
Yeah, week 2. So after that game, every preceding week they've scored more points each and every single week. So their offenses, it was a little slower against Lincoln. You could tell they were kind of getting their feet wet with the new quarterback. They've scored more points each week since that loss. So they're improving and around the right time of the year.
What happens sometimes, more players get involved.
Yeah.
And more players start doing it. But I have to make a comment before we get away from this. Is it going to happen at the beach, or is it going to happen on them mountains in Clay County?
I think we're going to the beach, man.
That even makes it better.
Yeah. Thanksgiving at the beach.
Y'all have to figure that out. Thanksgiving at the beach. Y'all can figure that out.
Turkey on the beach.
Turkey on the beach. We're talking about semifinals coming up, and actually, that's quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals.
Yeah. That's quarterfinals this year because the week started a week later. But, maybe not a lot to decide in Class 5A Region 4, but a lot still to decide in Class 5A Region 6. Tommy, thank you so much for spending with us. You've been waiting a while. You got your family in there. Got to get them back home down to Lineville, Alabama. Thank you for being with us. Catch him. He'll make great predictions like Talladega County Central breaking the streak against Summerton Christian like you did last night.
Had that feeling, man. Had that feeling.
Had that feeling. It was a good feeling. 28-game losing streak ends tonight, and it ends big time as TCC wins against Summerton. Tommy, thank you so much. Right, Tommy Wood from Before the Game here on High School Football Alabama. Join us on this Football Friday night. Coming up next, we're going to have the head football coach of the number 2 ranked team in Class 4A in the state, Jacob Kelly. The Cherokee County Warriors are next.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Westbrook Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Back on high school football, Alabama's after the game. Coach Michael Short's with me. We've got a surprise guest also. We don't only have the head football coach of the Cherokee County Warriors, Coach Jacob Kelly, with us live tonight. We also have the principal at Cherokee County High School, Bobby Tittle, with us tonight. Both of these gentlemen going to join us, and we're going to talk some Cherokee County High School football. Last night down at Munford Stadium, the Warriors go in and they are ahead 28-10 at halftime. They double it up in the second half and wind up winning that game over Munford 56-10. Men, welcome in. Glad to have you with us, Coach.
Thank you.
Mr. Tittle, glad to have you with us here after the game. Just an impressive performance last night. Your guys, obviously, I guess, Coach, on a Thursday night, you never know exactly, how the team's going to respond. And a pretty lengthy road trip there, but your team really came out ready to play last night.
We just kind of move things up a day. They're so routine in what they do and kind of how we practice, how we lift, that we just kind of moved it up a day and started a day earlier, so to speak. And, it felt like Friday to us. We really didn't, they handled it well. And some of you didn't say, he's also our offensive analyst.
I didn't know that. I learned something new every day.
That's on the card, and his son scored 4 touchdowns or counted for 4 touchdowns last night. So that's always a good thing. But it was a good win. We came out relatively healthy. We're going into an off week, so I guess, being where we're at and kind of getting ready for the home stretch, you know, at least in region play, sets us up pretty good for what we're about to go.
We're seeing some highlights here from the first quarter of the game last night. One thing that helps with all that you just described there, Coach, is when you have an experienced team like your team, you had most of this team coming back from last year. When you face things like long road trips, when you face things like a Thursday night game, these guys have seen all this kind of stuff before, so I think it probably helps to have the experience and maturity you have on this team.
It does, and you throw in a little bit of leadership that we had coming back too with guys like Hayden Wheeler and Zach Gaylor, and obviously you got Jacob and just a bunch of other guys, and they've been on some long road trips this year, and then, you know, you throw in some in the playoffs last year, so there's not a whole lot of situations when it comes to ball that they're not ready for. It's about, you know, really us being us and playing like us and playing how we want to play and getting after somebody and being physical and just playing fast and just at the end of the day kind of doing what they're coached to do. And usually, at least this bunch, it's been pretty successful doing that.
Coach, you know, you playing on Thursday, and back in the day when I coached, we used to always like to play some Thursday games. And the reason why was because I'm not going to try to, you know, make it bad on you here, Coach, but if you make it, you're going to play on a Thursday. And I know it'll be in the daytime, usually 11 o'clock in the middle of the day, but it's still on a Thursday. Is that, you know, you can work on those type of things, practice how we're going to get there that week. Like I said, you had to move everything up a day. Did you do your, you know, we had to practice on a Sunday, which some people do, but we had to come in and do some things on Sunday and had to do a whole lot more on Saturday than what we normally would do.
The only kind of difference is the start time is at 11. Mm-hmm. And so you're kind of like, our workout has to start at like 5 in the morning.
Yes.
And you know, then we gotta go to breakfast after that, and so that was kind of last year. So yes and no. To us, it still felt like Friday night. You know, Cherokee County did a great job. Center, the whole Warrior Nation was they come down there last night. I mean, it was packed house on the visitor side, and can't thank, you know, our fan base enough. They come out. We've had 2 pretty long road games, and they've been packed house on both of them, and we've played pretty good. We feed off of the stands, and you know, good, bad, and different, and so yeah, it was a good night for us.
All right, now I'm gonna shift over to the administrator. Here's my question. Mm-hmm. You've always been a very successful administrator, and I know all the things you got to do during a ball game. Mm-hmm. But you're the daddy too.
Yes.
How do you weigh that difference of being the administrator and I got all these things I got to keep an eye on and do, and the other time, I mean, you got one eye looking to the left and one eye on the field? I mean, how do you weigh all that?
Well, you do, especially because, you know, I have one eye, like you said, I have one eye on the game, you know, watching as a dad. But you know, my priority is making sure everything runs smoothly, everything's safe. I'm keeping in touch with the ticket booth. I'm looking at the stands, keeping in touch with our security, making sure the officials are taken care of as far as the security. And so you have to take care of your responsibilities. Those guys take care of the players, and even as my son is out there, those guys take care of them, and total trust in them. So just
like he's got great assistants, you got a great assistant.
I have a great assistant. Coach Farr, Matthew Farr, Mr. Farr is my assistant, and he floats, and I sit there and I kind of watch and do my end of it, as I'm also able to watch the game.
That's right.
And he does a great job of maintaining what needs to be done.
Mr. Till, I got a question for you. Finding out this information from Coach Kelly, I just found out tonight. I'm always curious here at Alabama, talk about having all these analysts on the sidelines, the offensive. So tell me, what does the offensive analyst do at Cherokee County High School? What are your job duties as offensive analyst?
There's a lot, because I'm an offensive analyst for the football team. I go help the band. I coach at the cheerleaders. As principal, you got to be able to do it all. And so you know, him and I talk on Saturday mornings, every Saturday morning, or every morning after the game. This time it was Friday morning, and so we talk. But hey, you just got to do what you got to do, and you got to be prepared to help out any way you can. So
we did that last year. I mean, you did it at the Piedmont. I mean, twice last year. I mean, you kind of offensive analyzed things. I was over there calling plays, and you were laughing at me.
Standpoint. And,
so he likes to set up in the back, at least at home, in the back, kind of by the goalpost.
That's right. I saw
it just so happens to be around where our back view film is.
Yeah.
We've kind of got a highlight video of him celebrating back there.
A lot of athletic moves.
You know, when we score, something good happens, he's got some nice celebrations back there.
So maybe on a highlight.
Yeah,
tape later on
we'll
this
get
year.
that in
Get that to
y'all
us.
so y'all
Send
can
that to
roll,
us.
roll those highlights.
Coach Kelly, last year, obviously, everyone knows you went to the Super 7 state championship. Andalusia wins the game. You come as state runner-up. You got a lot of guys. You told me earlier, hey, we were back December the 6th, 5th, 6th, whatever it was. We were back in the weight room, and the guys were back in the weight room. You didn't mandate it. The guys themselves says, we want to hit the weight room. So what is the one biggest thing that you've seen from maybe last year to this year that's going to maybe help you take that step and win a state championship?
I just think the expectation of the kids is no longer trying to get there, trying to, be a region champion, trying to make the playoffs and be a 1 seed. They've already kind of experienced that. So the expectation is, they know what it takes to get there. They know what it's like. And so it's about showing up every day and making sure you're prepared, because we were prepared as you can be from a physical standpoint, but mentally we backed off the gas pedal and didn't play like us. And if you kind of stop playing how you did to get there, and teams like Andalusia and any team that comes out of the South, they're going to be fast. They're going to attack you. They're going to have playmakers. They're going to be really good in the box, and you've got to match them. You got to go toe to toe. It's prize fighting, and it's championship fight, and that's why we want to play like good non-region opponents, because you never know what your region is. I think I was talking to Bo Stark and Average Joe's guys earlier in the week, and he was talking to me about scheduling. Well, these teams change so much year to year that even in a 2-year cycle, you don't know what a team's going to be from year to year. And so you can only kind of handle what you do and how you develop your program, your kids, but I think the expectation of the kids is, as long as we do our jobs and keep putting in the work and don't get complacent. My big thing last week was, where's our hunger at? We just seemed like we had lost our hunger at practice, and teenagers sometimes have a tendency to have a little fake it till Friday disease, in the mid-season and hot weather, and so just motivating them on a daily basis to get the most out of them, because I'm kind of hard on them just because I know how good they can be, and if their output at practice or in the weight room doesn't match what I know they can be, then that's kind of where we have problems, and those days are kind of far and few between, but we just got to be consistent, and the guys really can handle the rest, and once we get in the playoffs, there's going to be tremendously tough tests all the way. Mm-hmm. But when we get there, if we're fortunate enough to get there, it's about us being us and playing. I've told the guys before, and I said it all over Auburn's Jordan Hare Stadium, I wish y'all would stop acting like this ain't where you're supposed to be, because y'all ain't playing like you're supposed to be here. And, we had the chance in the game, but I think the guys are still hungry to get that one back. Whoever it is, it doesn't matter to them. I've kind of got them into dissecting things on a at least weekly basis, not necessarily a daily basis. I think they're too scatterbrained to go day by day. But at least right now we've got them where they can lock in to one opponent per week. And that's been good enough for them so far.
Well, Coach, a long time ago, I used to take kids, if we had a bad day or they wasn't doing up to our standard, we had a big mirror in our dressing room to go by. And every day you had to go look in that mirror, and are you happy with what you did today? And if you're not happy, then do something about it. And at the end of the day, if you don't make it, or if you do make it and you don't win it, or you do win it, go get in that front of that mirror and see if you like what you see. And if you can, then you've done your best, and that's all that matters.
That's 100% correct. We used to call it mirror test in Cedartown, which is where I grew up. But the bad thing is, when I redid our locker room, I busted every mirror in there. So we ain't got no mirrors in there no more. I'm going to borrow one.
You can get one and carry it around, Coach.
Yeah.
One last question for both of you guys. A lot of times we don't realize when we're in the midst of something how special it is till later. and Jacob Corneo is a special player. And we're in the midst of it right now. We're seeing it week to week. We're seeing a couple weeks ago 420 yards of rushing. One of the top 20 performances ever in the state going back over 100 years. Both of you guys, just how you see him every day. How special is this guy?
I mean, he's, if not the best, one of the best. Just prepares, coming to work. He doesn't have off days. He doesn't. He's the same kid, good, bad, or indifferent. He's a tremendously hard worker. He's a sponge as far as coachability. And he's going to, he's what you want on Friday, because he's as much of a competitor as you're going to get. You know, a couple weeks ago when he rushed for what he rushed for, I mean, he couldn't have told you what he rushed for. All he wanted to do was beat Aniana. He just wanted the matchup. He wanted them to come down. Somebody, you know, we did a lot of preseason talk. Called it talking season, you know. And so we did a lot of interviews, and one person asked you, I don't know who it was, said, who's the team you're looking forward to playing the most? And then before they could get it out of the mouth, he said, Aniana. And so
I think I was the one that asked that question at the Cherokee meeting today.
It might have been, so it was you, but I'm guilty. He loves to compete, and with how good 24 is from Aniana, and there's some comparisons, and they were at the 4A, you know, banquet of the year, and he just, that's what he wanted. He wanted competition. He wanted head-to-head, but he's, you know, it's the little things, it's the non-football things that make Jacob special. It's the preparation, it's how hard he works in the weight room.
And you see him in the hallways, too.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't see is you see him in the hallways, you see him talking to students, you see him picking up a piece of trash that he don't have to pick up, and he knows no one's looking. You see him pick that up in the lunchroom and outside. You see him do those things right there that, you know, a lot of students don't do, and that just makes him a leader. You know, he's a every 20-year player. You know, I was fortunate when I was at Ohatchee to see Dominic Thomas come through and what he's done, and Dominic's the same type of kid. Both of them are just top-notch kids that have an extremely great work ethic.
I gotta ask this. All we've talked about is backs and skill players. Coach, that offensive line is when I watch them, they do well.
I mean, that would be the first thing that Jacob would tell you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And you know, they just do a really good job. First of all, we've got some seniors in there that have been running the same scheme for the last couple of years, and so they've kind of mastered their calls. You know, because we do get to some Fridays and they prepare and they know kind of Cherokee County's going to run the football. We feel like tonight they might run the football a little bit, and they got 9 in the backfield. I think they might give it to 9 a little bit, and so they might line up a little bit different than what we've seen on film. They might stem. You know, Mumford the other night would get pre-snap. They'd shift the whole D line a little bit. They're not affected by it, because they'll look at it, they'll make their calls on what that changes, what this changes, what the initial front does, and then they work together. And then the X factor is they're really strong. We're not small, so we're probably not the biggest, but we ain't the smallest, but they get after it. That's the X factor, is they're nasty, they're in a good way, and they finish, and they, you know, the thing about it is they hold each other accountable, and they're never satisfied. So the week after Aniana, when we had 568 total rushing yards, not total yards, total rushing yards, I don't know if we threw a pass, but maybe we did. Okay. But so anyway, they were critiquing themselves like, you know, we got shut down. You know, we stepped with the wrong foot. We, you know, we came off of a block and left the mic unblocked.
You know, the offensive analyst knows if you threw a pass or not.
Yeah.
He was probably counting them. Just throw one more, maybe 2.
Well, I think he usually gives me like a sticky note on the way in. It's be like, hey, Carson needs 2 more passes. Hey, they're open.
Men, thank y'all so much for coming. Let you get back north to center. Congratulations on the win last night. Great season last year, having a great season this year. Best wishes to you and your team throughout the whole rest of the year. Fun to watch, exciting to watch. We'll be watching you I'm sure all the way deep into November, if not December, as you make your way through the 4A playoffs. Thank you for being with us on After the Game.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Head coach of the Cherokee County Warriors, Coach Jacob Kelly, also the principal at Cherokee County High School, Mr. Bobby Tittle, here with us on After the Game. We'll be back in just a moment.
Name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Ted's Floors and Beyond, bringing you our Ted's Team of the Week. We'll take a look at last week's Team of the Week coming up, and in about an hour or so, we will have our Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week selection for this week. But they now offer cabinets from Welborn Cabinet, and they have a complete makeover now that you can have for your kitchen or bathroom. They offer all of that, not just flooring products, but they have hundreds of in-stock items. They have not only the carpet and tile and laminate and hardwood, but the cabinets and the countertops and everything. 0% interest financing for 12 months, all day, every day. Free in-home estimates. They do a great job with that. I've experienced that myself. You can go to shopteds.com to find out more information. And speaking of our Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week, last week's Team of the Week, the Jacksonville Christian Thunder. We were at JCA this morning, had a great time, great hospitality with Coach Tommy Miller and the team up there today. And we're going to take you up to JCA right now to take a look. They even had a recording up on the wall of our announcement last week of JCA being our Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week. A big 37-6 win over Russell Christian out of Mississippi last week. No team in the conference, guys, had ever beaten Russell at home. And Coach Miller telling me that they had won 6 or 7 consecutive conference championships. And so JCA, a huge win, 37-6. We got all the fine folks there from Ted's. The Ted's cheerleaders were there. There's our Anderson Orthopedic score shirts with the score on the back. Jacksonville Christian 37 and Russell Christian 6 from last Friday night down in Meridian, Mississippi. Cole Sterling from Ted's making a former Cherokee County. Cherokee County player on the state championship team making the trophy presentation with our Tough Guy trophy from Awards to Remember to the JCA Thunder up in Jacksonville today. They're excited. They're getting ready to rebuild some of their school campus and the church where they had the fire over there about a year and a half ago. You see the team there wearing those Ted's jerseys, our Team of the Week. And we'll have our Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week announcement, as we said, coming up in about an hour or so right here on After the Game. Now, we also today were over in Cleburne County, the home of one Michael Short. We were at Heflin today for our concession stand of the week with Johnson's Giant Food. Every one of our Johnson's Giant Food concession stands, they get a $100 gift certificate courtesy of Johnson's Giant Food. So today it was the Cleburne County Band Boosters tonight with, something really good. Let's take you to Heflin right now. It is our Johnson's Giant Food concession stand of the week. Tonight we are at Cleburne County High School in Heflin. It's the Cleburne County Band Boosters. We've got Marcy Cheatwood. She runs this concession stand, and I asked her what the best item was, and she says it is the barbecue French fries. So Don, what do you think just from looking at it?
Ooh, if they taste anything how they look, John, this is going to be extraordinary right here.
All right, so dig in. We got a little barbecue. We got the melted cheese. We got the fries. We've got the barbecue sauce as well. I mean, fantastic stuff here. Barbecue French fries here at Cleburne County High School. They're selling a lot of these, I think, because they've got a big pile of them over there waiting. Tell us what you think after the first couple of bites there, Don.
It's always a pleasure to come to the pit. And this is.
And it's even more of a pleasure after barbecue fries, right?
Pit barbecue, absolutely.
All right, they're going to get a $100 gift certificate from Johnson's Giant Food, and they are the concession stand of the week. Barbecue nachos. If you come over here to Heflin to a ball game, this is the Band Booster concession stand. It's right above the stadium, at the top of the stadium on the home side. Come by and visit them. Great barbecue, the barbecue sauce, the cheese, and the French fries as well. Barbecue French fries at Cleburne County on this football Friday night. Johnson's Giant Food. You see the concession workers there getting it all ready at Cleburne County tonight. Well, I don't normally partake in that, but tonight I just couldn't resist. We each had a fork. Namath Pitts from our staff and myself and Don Wilson, we each had a fork, and we were digging into those barbecue French fries. They've got barbecue nachos there as well. I noticed that, but the barbecue French fries were mighty tough to beat. Back here now, John Holder with Coach Michael Short and Chad Barnett. Guys, another place that has some awful good food in the concession stand is out at the Creek Bank at Ohatchee. And Chad, you were out there today, Ohatchee and Jacksonville. Pretty unique Calhoun County matchup tonight on the Creek Bank.
Yeah, it's perfect you lead in with that because, they're really close in mileage as far as one to the other, but this is only the third time since 1981 that these two teams have played. Jacksonville will go coming in tonight red hot, averaging 48 points per game against teams not named Hanley. So let's go to the Creek Bank and check out and see how they did tonight against the Ohatchee Indians, who are off to a good season as well. And I believe we will be going to the highlights here in just a minute. Great stuff from Jacksonville when we do get there. There we are. As the Golden Eagles running out, as I mentioned, man, they are just red hot. We talk about Jim Ogle a lot because he gets a lot of pub. He's a phenomenal quarterback, but I tell you what, they came out tonight on the ground wanting to establish the run. Xavier English with a 15-yard run to start things off. This is the second play of the first drive of the night. English is going to take this to the house. So 2 plays, 7 points. Jacksonville, after the extra point is good, they're going to take a lead over the Indians on the road 7-0 early. So Ohatchee would be back on offense on their first drive. And we talked about how effective they've been on offense. Jacob Hester, nice third down catch. diving to make that play. And then a fourth down in their own territory, first drive of the night. I think Ohatchee knew, hey, we're going to have to score some points here. No punting and wanting to stay in this game. Jesse Baswell takes the direct snap left side for the first down, keeps the drive alive. This, another fourth down on the same drive. This one, though, pass is going to fall short just over Baswell's hands. And so now Jacksonville back on offense. This time they're going to go back to the air. Ogle connecting with Kedrick Fisher for a first down. Nearly takes it to the house. He's going to be down at the 8-yard line. Ogle one more time. Going to find Fisher again for the touchdown. So 2 drives, 2 scores, 14-0. Jacksonville is on top. Clint Smith says to his defense, get off the field. And that's exactly what they do here. Nice defense as they settle in on D on that second drive. They look really strong. And the offense is back on track. This time Ogle finding DeMonte Sinclair for a first down. Ogle now, he's going to be dropping back, finding Fisher, who's going to be about a half-yard short of a first down. So this is a fourth down here, big, trying to go up 3 scores early. And Ohatchee's defense did step up here, make a nice stop. That would turn it over on downs. Ohatchee would get the ball, but you know, as we saw earlier on the score graphics, Jacksonville just a little bit too much for Ohatchee tonight, 51-6, and their offense is humming.
They really are. That's a good Ohatchee team. That's the team that's going to be contending to get in the 3A playoffs. They're a really fine team, a lot, but much improved over last year. And Jacksonville goes in and wins impressively, 51-6. Guys, may have been the most impressive win of the year so far for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that you have to give Ohatchee credit for having that game scheduled, because they can't do nothing but help them. Is they'll be somewhere in the playoffs that they're going to have to face somebody that can throw and run the football like they do. But when it comes to Jacksonville, you know, the question mark at the beginning of the year was their offensive line, having to replace all 5 guys. And that's always a big question mark for a coach. And it looks like they have found the answer because, you know, we do give Ogle all the props. But the play-action pass is not there if they can't run the football.
Yeah.
So tonight they were able to run the ball. Jim's stats tonight were 18 for 22 for 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kedrick Fisher was the recipient of 8 receptions, 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. But the biggest thing for me is Zay English, 13 attempts, 185 yards and 3 touchdowns. When they can run the football, it makes them a better football team.
It's interesting to see too, because you know I talked about the difference between Central's offensive line and Jacksonville. They're complete opposites. Central is really big across the front. Jacksonville does not have a big front, but they're effective. And obviously, you don't run for 183 yards and 12 carries if your line is not doing their job.
When I talked to Coach Ogle early in the year, because he's coaching the offensive line, he talked about this group is not as big, maybe not as talented, but is very, very smart and intelligent, and they listen. And he said, we can do a whole lot of checks at the line of scrimmage, and that makes a whole lot of difference when people are giving you a different look every time you get up there to snap the ball.
Both teams back into region play next week. Jacksonville with Cleveland County. Ohatchee, a huge region game in 3A Region 6 as they welcome Geraldine in, and they'll have the naming, as we heard at the beginning of the show, the naming of Reagan Clark Stadium at 6:30 in the pregame. So all you Ohatchee fans will want to get there early for that coming up next Friday night. Time for our next Red Threads Extra Point of the night. We have 4 of these every football Friday night, and here's the next one coming your way on this football Friday night. I believe we got the next one coming. Well, tonight's win by Walter Welborn gave Panther head coach Jeff Smith his 97th win as head coach at Welborn. The 97 wins ties his former coach at Welborn, Mike Battles, for the most wins in school history. A win at home next Friday versus Childersburg would give Smith sole possession of the most wins of any coach in Welborn history. We'll be back with more of After the Game.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
My dad taught me to fish right here years ago. But when an old sports injury started slowing him down, I knew we'd need to search for the latest procedures in knee and hip replacement, with physical therapy tailored to his needs, a dedicated team of doctors and nurses, and he'd want a fast recovery time. So where'd he find all that?
Right here at RMC. When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Tomorrow morning, Anniston Orthopedics has their Saturday morning 8 a.m. sports injury clinic. Every Saturday morning at 8, you can see an orthopedic doctor, get x-rays if needed, and most importantly, get back on the field as soon as possible. There's no sense in worrying or suffering all weekend. Anniston Orthopedics here to provide quality care and peace of mind every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. for all high school athletes who may be suffering from an injury. This is at the Tyler Center, right across from RMC in Midtown Anniston, just down the street here from our RMC Media Center at Parker Memorial Baptist Church on Quintard Avenue in Anniston. Back on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. John Holder back with you. Coach Michael Short, Chad Barnett. Tonight, I didn't anticipate this happening, but the game of the night here in East Alabama may have been at Barney Hood Stadium in Southside. Southside and Boaz, this turned into a game that went to overtime tonight over at Smoke Neck Tech.
You know, we talked about it a little bit earlier whenever we were talking about the 5A level, but you know, when you lose your most prolific passer in school history, you expect the team to take a step back. But since the loss of Gage Naismith, the Southside offense has improved each week with 29 points, 35 points, and then 42 points respectively. And apparently they did a little bit better than that tonight. It took them 4 quarters and then also an overtime to get there, but a fantastic game tonight at Barney Hood Stadium in Smoke Neck Tech. Let's go up to the highlights in Southside to see how those Panthers did against the Pirates this evening. Offense for Boaz to start off is Jakai Hudgens with a nice catch, and that sets him up first down inside the 20. It's going to be more Hudgens here, so he's going to take it in for the touchdown on this pass. Nice one-handed grab. Boaz on top, 28-21 at this point. Southside getting the ensuing kickoff. Mason Teague, who's been really sharp for the Panthers this year. Nice return, gets them back almost to midfield. Nice tough run there by number 1 for Southside. But Boaz would take back over on offense after Southside would stall. And they're going to go to the ground. Presley Fant, nice run, gets popped, but Boaz would actually score again there, go up 35-21. But Southside, we mentioned, are starting to sling the ball around now. Caden McMichael with a great catch on the sideline, and then now, a couple plays later, they're going to go back to the well. McMichael again, beautiful catch in there for the score, and Southside is on the board. PAT is good. He likes what he sees as well. 35-28 now is the lead for Boaz. We're now within a score again. Boaz on offense, Tristan Childers. Nice, tough run here for a first down. And then on first down, Boaz with another carry by Childers, but there's going to be no gain here, and that would set him up later this drive. Boaz pumps it in with a quarterback sneak up at that point, 42-28. And that's where we left. But that's not where Southside stopped. They come back with 2 touchdowns in the final quarter and win it late, 48-45.
Wow, what a comeback win for Boaz. And we just keep being impressed week after week after week by Southside and what they do in the manner that they're doing it. They overcome injuries. They come from behind. And 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to win games. I mean, they're winning in every way possible. But, Coach, what the big bottom line is for Miles Holcomb and his team is they are winning.
Yeah, that's all that matters. And you got to give a lot of credit to their coaching staff for being able to come back and do the changes they had to do, to make it happen. And usually you got a good senior class. And those seniors said, look, our season's not done because one guy's gone. So they had to rally around somebody. And it looks like they've rallied around the older guys that are on the team. And they said, we're just going to keep doing what we do. And they've done it. And they're very impressive by doing that because a lot of teams would have fell apart when they lose their best player and the season would have been doomed, and they haven't let that happen.
Well, Jordan Bryant has been fantastic at the quarterback. He's really starting to sling it. Like we mentioned, that first game back when he took the start, it was against Lincoln. He didn't throw the ball particularly well. They ran the ball a lot, but what stood out in that game was it was late in the first half, a place where it was still a tight ball game. They relied on his arm deep in, like throwing out of his own end zone. So they put trust in him immediately. And while it wasn't as effective that week, we're seeing now 45, 48 points in back-to-back weeks. And you saw the highlights there. He was slinging that ball. He looked really good tonight.
They've been able to take the plays that he can do, passing-wise, and do it, and take the ones he can't and throw them out.
Yeah. Well, they're looking really good right now.
And they're literally one play away. The opening game at Guntersville, they lost 14-10, and they had, I think, 5 shots inside the 10-yard line. Any one of those plays, they could be undefeated right now. And by the way, that Guntersville team is undefeated. They've got a big region showdown, probably for the region championship in that region with Scottsboro next week, who's also undefeated. So, I mean, Southside is right there. They're amongst the top 5A teams in North Alabama. Let's go now back to our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden region rundown. We're going to take a look at the 3A and the 4A regions now as we take a look at those regions. We're kind of at the halfway point. This is kind of the mid-semester exam, the midterm exams. Class 3A Region 4, Randolph County. Of course, no region games tonight, so the overall record, though, goes to 5-0, and it's looking more and more likely like a Randolph County Walter Welborn showdown is coming. But next week, Coach, Childersburg tonight beat Vincent on the road, and Childersburg and Welborn next week is going to be a big game out on the hill.
It will, because I know what both of them are going to do, and there's going to be there early because it may be over in a hurry because there's not going to be a lot of throwing the football around. There's going to be a lot of running the football. But I know that's going to be a big game, but I'm looking at Randolph County and Welborn because I was at Randolph County tonight watching them play, and they were very, very impressive.
Class 3A Region 6 as we move up into the north half. Sylvania actually took a loss tonight. It was non-region to Pisgah. Great game. It came right down to the wire. Pisgah scored late, wins the game 40-34. But in region play, Sylvania controls their own destiny. They're the only team that's undefeated in Class 3A Region 6. But again, if you look at that, Glencoe probably is the only team right now at the midway point of the season, 8-team region, that probably is out of this. You've got 7 teams battling for 4 playoff spots going down the home stretch here.
Cannot wait to see the last half of the season for this region specifically. This is the one that will have everybody's attention for the next 5 weeks.
And I'm going off the cuff here, but what a monstrous win for Pisgah tonight to come in and beat Sylvania.
And the manner they did it, that game's back and forth, back and forth. I think they scored guys with like 30-something seconds to go in the game to win it.
It's the score I heard when I was editing highlights. It's the one that I heard. I had stopped doing what I was doing. I was like, did I just hear that?
I just heard it. I just now knew it just now right here on the show.
Because we've been doing scores for 2 hours. You just now heard it?
I'm focused on everything I've got to do.
It's crazy around here, guys. This is how crazy it is. Class 4A Region 4 now. Again, no region games played tonight, but Cleveland County is still, even though they lost tonight, they lost big, 68-3 to Reeltown. but they are still undefeated in region play. Handily undefeated in region play. Now, the big story here is White Plains, not eligible. So basically, they are playing a non-region schedule the rest of the way. They're not eligible. So this was a 7-team region. Now you've got 6 teams actually eligible for the playoffs, battling for those 4 positions.
I don't know where they would have been, had they not had to go through that with White Plains, because they're building. They've got some things to work out. I think they were even without their quarterback tonight with an ankle issue. So with them, but I think the way it was described to me yesterday was that now as a coach, what do you tell your kids? Now there's, you can't get up for anything because there's nothing to effectively play for at all. So it's tough for them, but I think that matchup though is going to be between that Anniston-Mumford line right there. Those are the playoff teams, and we'll see who ends up with that 4th spot.
Oh, the line's drawn right there from Anniston up. It's just going to be a different order.
Yeah.
But I will say that who they'll meet, Region 1. There's not just one team in that region. They've got 2 or 3 in that region that can play with any of these people here.
Keep in mind the 3 and 4, because one in the first round of the playoffs, Region 1 plays Region 4. So the 3 and 4 team out of this region going to have to go to Southwest Alabama, somewhere like Jackson, T.R. Miller, Bayside Academy, somewhere like that.
Could you imagine being a 1 seed and see Anniston coming in with all them players? Congratulations. Here you go. First round matchup.
Class 4A Region 6, we just talked in depth about Cherokee County. Obviously, they're in control. They already have a win over Aniana. Probably they're going to be prohibitive favorites the rest of the way. Maybe not only guys just in this region, but in the North in Class 4A.
I'll vote for them to be in the finals in 4A. I know they just left, and I told them the same thing. But they're that well coached. They've got seniors. They've got experienced players. They've been there before, and that's hard to come by. One of those teams that one-hit wonders. They just all of a sudden this year got good. They're not going to come in and beat them.
No. And the intangibles they were talking about earlier.
They have
them. Principle. They were talking about the intangibles off the field and mentality and all that. It's not just talent on the field. And it seems like they got the total package.
Our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser has been hugely big tonight. We had Bobby Tittle and we had Jacob Kelly from Cherokee County. We had Michael Easley from Munford in. We've had Tommy Wood in. We had Ron Dober in. We've had the Etowah County, the Central Clay County, I don't know where Etowah came from. Central Clay County cheerleaders in with us tonight. So we've been busy with the Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser. Let me tell you about Noble Bank, a community bank, a community-owned bank. What does that mean? Well, that means that you are a person, a face, a name when you walk into one of the local branches right here in East Alabama, more than an account number. And the most important thing, all the decisions are made locally, and they give back to their communities. And you're not having a decision made by somebody in Birmingham or Atlanta or Nashville or Charlotte or any of those places. It's being made right here in East Alabama. Noble Bank and Trust bringing you our Noble Bank and Trust post-game pressers. Tons more highlights, Team of the Week, East Alabama Top 10, and a whole lot more as we roll on a Football Friday night.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team 1 Chevrolet. Team 1 Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team 1 Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you. But when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Westbrook Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ, a place to use the gifts and talents God has given you, a place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Aniston. Visit our website for details.
We are coming to you tonight from the RMC Media Center at Parker Memorial Baptist Church on Quintard Avenue in Midtown Aniston. RMC wants to remind you that September, just really one day left now in the month of September, is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and you can call RMC Urology if you would like to schedule an early detection cancer screening for prostate. 237-6717 is part of RMC Foundation's Early Detection Connection Program. Glad to be here as always every Friday night at the RMC Media Center here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church on Quintard Avenue in Aniston. It is high school football Alabama's After the Game presented by the Calhoun County Commission. John Holder, Chad Barnett, Coach Michael Short, our entire hard-working After the Game team wheel this football Friday night. We had folks everywhere, all the way from Heflin to Rainbow City, at all points in between tonight. And speaking of Rainbow City, Steve Smith and the Westbrook Christian Warriors at home tonight against Section, and pretty easy win for Westbrook tonight.
Definitely. Westbrook comes in tonight needing a get-right game after a very tough loss on the road last week against Hoax Bluff. Enter the Section Lions, looking for their first win of the season as they come in at 0-5. So how did the Westbrook Christian Warriors fare? Let's go to the highlights and take a look and see just how Steve Smith's squad did. So we're going to start off on offense for Westbrook. Grayson Carroll, he's going to hit LaMichael Mitchell, who's been a stud this year. Every time we do the game, it seems like Mitchell's making a play. So Mitchell makes that play. Next play, Carroll's going to keep it. This time he's going to call his own number and take it down to the 35-yard line. And then Carroll going to drop back to pass. This time he's going to find Cooper for the score, and it's going to put the Warriors up 8-0 after the two-point conversion right here is going to be good. And Carroll just walks into the end zone over the left side. Not much trouble there, so 8-0 Warriors on top. Kickoff for Westbrook goes to Sardis, number 2. So I'm going to call him. I didn't get his name, so we're going to call him number 2. Little Austin Powers reference. He's going to take this kickoff all the way back, untouched. And he's in, well, he did get touched around the 10. I like ankle touched. My bad. He's in for the score. So good job, number 2 for a touchdown. Extra point, no good. It is 8-6. So anything you can do, what's the old saying? I can do better. LaMichael Mitchell, he's coming back with the ensuing kickoff. And he's going to match the energy, take it all the way back to the house, as Mitchell will take it all the way back 100 yards for the touchdown. It is 16-6 now as Westbrook answers in fancy fashion. Back for Westbrook on defense. Beautiful, just gang tackle here. Not much effort put up by the Sardis offense on that one. Excuse me, section offense on that one. And then now they're backed up inside their own goal line. More Westbrook defense keeps it at the 1, and then they nearly get a safety here as the ball is caught at the goal line. They barely get it out, but the punt would lead to great field position for Westbrook. Back on offense, and this is going to be Maximus Jones for the first down run. And then they're going to go back to the air, and guess who? It's that man again, Mitchell, for the touchdown. Westbrook up 22-6 at this point. They win it big tonight, 56-12. They are back in the winning track after the tough loss last week against rival Hoax Bluff.
And guys, before we move on, we're going to take a look at the 6A regions as we go back to our Team 1 Chevy of Gadsden region rundown. But before we do that, let me just say, back to region play next week, and this is all I'm going to say. Next Friday night, Westbrook Christian versus the Piedmont Bulldogs at the Field of Champions next Friday night at 7. That's all I'm going to say.
And tonight was homecoming for Westbrook.
Homecoming for Westbrook.
So, you know, he was panicking, and as always, you remember over the years with Piedmont, when he was at Piedmont, they always had a great kicking game. You've seen that again starting to happen in Westbrook. They're all making return kicks for touchdowns. Their kicking game's making an impact.
Westbrook and Piedmont next week.
There's a little storyline there.
Well, a little bit.
I think there's a storyline.
Interesting little game.
I'm
going to be there.
On that note, though, Piedmont, we talked about they have played a heck of a schedule.
Yes.
And they played a phenomenal game last night against Piedmont. Keeping Edison to that low of an output on offense, that's pretty good. They're showing some life at this point. Should be interesting to see.
It will be.
A lot of emotion next week.
Yeah.
A lot of emotion in that game coming up next week. All right, let's take a look at Class 6A now. The 6A regions. We had a couple of interesting games tonight, 2 or 3 interesting games involving our 6A teams here in East Alabama in non-region. So let's look now at our Team 1 Chevy of Gadsden 6A Region 6. Oxford tonight was up 21-7 in the fourth quarter. And Hartselle, an old nemesis both in baseball and in football, they come back, score a 2-point conversion with 3 minutes to go in the game, hand Oxford their first loss at 22-21 tonight. Pell City kind of the same way. Pell City clawed back in. Coach, 32-32 in the fourth. And then Eufaula, they were on the road, another long road trip like Oxford had. Pell City at Eufaula, they get a couple of turnovers, does Eufaula. They win the game 46-32. So next week, our 2 local teams in Class 6A Region 6, Oxford and Pell City. Been a lot of talk about this one. Maybe a different kind of emotion with Oxford and Pell City at Lamar Field. Russ Probst comes to Oxford next Friday night.
I'd probably be there. I'll probably make that trip over there to watch that. And I might stand down in the end zone by the goalpost and watch the game from there. But talent-wise, on the outside, Oxford will have the advantage there and having the home field advantage. And I'm sure there'll be some, there'll probably be a little yellow hankies on the field probably during the ball game.
Probably. I would think so.
Hey,
okay, two points real quick on this region here. Number 1, Clay Chalkville. beating Thompson.
Number 1.
Opened up a lot of eyes right there. That was a massive win for them. And then number 2, Oxford. I know how big this game was for them. They had these, everything kind of tapped up throughout the locker room. What they said about you losing the game against Hartselle last year. This one was, one of those revenge games they were supposed to get, and they had it in their grasp and let it fall through. So I know that's a tough loss for Oxford.
And I'll add a third point to that. Don't be surprised, folks, if Pell City, Coach, you and I have talked about this. Don't be surprised if Pell City makes the playoffs in Russ Probst's first year. It could happen.
It very well could. But not only did they open some eyes, Clay Chalk, but they opened eyes regionally. Regionally, Georgia, Mississippi, because a lot of eyes on it because it was on ESPN.
Yeah. Beautiful win for the Cougars.
Class 6A Region 8, Gadsden City, non-region tonight. Of course, I think they're in control of this region and will stay in control of this region. But, boy, they ran into a buzzsaw. We found out, I think, how good Hillcrest Tuscaloosa is. They beat Gadsden City 32-3 tonight down in Tuscaloosa. A Gadsden City team who only lost to Hartselle by 3 on the road last week. Hillcrest Tuscaloosa, not a lot of folks talking about the Patriots. That may be a team to watch in 6A North, but I think Gadsden City is still in control of Class 6A Region 8.
No doubt. But we're talking about Hillcrest. This is kind of a team they've been looking forward to for a while. So that score wasn't a surprise because they've been, they're one of the ones that's going to be there in the top when it's all said and done.
Time for our next extra point of the night, our Red Threads extra point. Class 3A Mars Hill Bible of Florence is the leading scoring team in the AHSAA at the midpoint of the season. The Panthers were averaging, they only scored 27 tonight. They were averaging 59 points per game. Heading into tonight's home game with Class 5A Russellville. By the way, they beat 5A Russellville tonight, 27-24. Mars Hill had scored 295 points in 5 games. The Panthers, up until tonight, had only been held under 50 points once this season.
Would anybody like to know what they run on offense? Wing T.
Wing T, and the Wing T got it done again tonight up in Florence. We'll be back with more highlights as after the game rolls on a Football Friday night.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you. But when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
There's a lot to think about when you're having a baby. Colors of the nursery, names, and most importantly, where to deliver.
We want a hospital that gives families a more personalized birthing experience.
With a compassionate team of doctors and nurses, and a hospital where my baby and I can instantly bond with all the comforts of home.
So where do we find all that?
Right here at RMC, the first designated baby-friendly hospital in Alabama.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Westbrook Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
The Calhoun County Commission brings you after the game every football Friday night. Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson supporting our local schools. They support every school system here in Calhoun County. And they also, we had Danny Shears on just a couple of weeks ago talking about all the improvements that they are making to some already great parks and recreational facilities here in Calhoun County. The Calhoun County Commission bringing you high school football Alabama's after the game. We come back on this football Friday night. We're all over the place. My crew tonight, not only in Heflin, but we also visited out at White Plains, Robertson Field. White Plains playing host to the Hoax Bluff Eagles. Mike Robertson, Chad Barnett had to feel pretty at home. He's got, Robertson Field. He plays at home at Mike Robertson Stadium out at Hoax Bluff, and they were very comfortable when we got there at halftime. It was 35-0 Hoax Bluff at the half.
Yeah, they're coming in this week with a full chest after the big win last week over Westbrook. The Eagles are attempting now to win back-to-back games for the first time this season. Let's go down Highway 9 as Hoax Bluff traveled to take on White Plains. As you mentioned, John, 35-0 at the half when we get there. And Hoax Bluff quarterback Bryce Whitaker is going to take a nice 32-yard run. Next play, Blaine Barron, this time 21 yards. He's going to be down at the 3-yard line of White Plains. Brenton Hale now for 3 yards and a score. PAT is good. Hoax Bluff is up 42-0. White Plains Philip Holloway, bright spot here for the Wildcats with a nice 20-yard run. Then White Plains quarterback Dylan Barksdale gets his pass picked off by Logan Wyman, and Blake Jennings, he's going to do well. He's had a rough start his first year, but as anytime you start something fresh, it's going to be some growing pains, and that's what they're going through tonight. White Plains, they're going to be picking up this fumble recovery here, so that's good news for the Wildcats. And then Barksdale on a nice 10-yard run. Next play, Barksdale, he's going to take this around the right side, and boy, I tell you what, he takes a hit here, helmet to helmet, as he drops out of bounds. White Plains back on offense this time. Again, Philip Holloway, a 27-yard touchdown run to put the Wildcats into the end zone for the first time tonight. Makes it 42-7 as they keep fighting as the time expires. They put in another score, and they drop tonight to Hoax Bluff 42-14.
Well, Hoax Bluff, one of those teams that just get better and better and better. Each week that goes by, they have improved so much, just like a different team tonight than the team that we saw over at Southside in the opening game.
Yeah, and you come to expect that out of Coach Rob. I mean, those teams are going to get better and better each week. But Coach Jennings, he was a part of when they was at Ohatchee that first year, and they had to build things. And he knows what it's like to have to build it. You just don't go, and he's going to be rewarded for that at some point in time, and they will. They'll be fine because he's going to do what it's supposed to do, and he's going to do what it takes to get them on the right track.
Even as a player, at Alexander,
did the same thing.
He's been in with winners. He'll win some.
Absolutely. Let's go back to our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden region rundown. We're going to take a look at Class 2A. And even though Reeltown's not in one of these regions, I'm going to talk about Reeltown again because, golly, they may be meeting.
I've been around you for a while. I don't think I've ever seen you this impressed by a team.
By a 2A team, they're pretty impressive. But B.B. Comer's good as well, Chad. And B.B. Comer, there's some tough teams in this region. Thorsby, Isabella, Ranburne, Vincent's very good. But I just think that in South Alabama, it's a showdown from what I've seen between B.B. Comer and Reeltown. Yeah. They're headed somewhere, either Thanksgiving or the first week in December, depending on how the bracket works out. They're on a collision course with each other, though. B.B. Comer again tonight beating Sachs 42-6. That was a revenge game for them. Sachs beat them 28-0 last year up here tonight. B.B. Comer turns the table. So 2A Region 4. Thorsby still undefeated in the region, but I'm not sure Thorsby has the firepower to keep up with B.B. Comer when they play each other. Class 2A Region 6. Pleasant Valley is still undefeated in the region, but they lost tonight to Raglan. And I still think that you've got 4 teams. Actually, I don't know that Cleveland, Gaston, Holly Pond probably at the bottom. But these 4 teams right here are going to sort themselves out. Pleasant Valley, Southeastern, Locust Fork, West End. Coach, I think that's probably the 4 that are going to be in the playoffs. But the order of the 4, there is a lot to be seen there.
Yeah, you could, like putting a nickel in your hand, toss it up. I believe you could put all 4 of them in there and shake it up.
Yeah.
And we don't know exactly where AM's going to fall. And you know what's tough about that? The region they'll pair up with in playoffs, when you got a region like that right there, those coaches can't cheat and start grabbing film because they have no idea. It could possibly come down to a non-region game at the end of the year that decides this.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned it last week, Pleasant Valley 4-0 for the first time, and God knows how long. I know we talked about it a lot last week, but the thing you threw out there was now you have to figure out how to be successful. And maybe this is just one of those growing pains as far as becoming a program that's used to winning. And it took a tough loss tonight, but maybe next Friday it's better for them.
Very rarely do you get a team that, all of a sudden they're 4-0 and they haven't been there before, do they go completely undefeated?
Yeah, it's very hard to do.
Doesn't happen.
Time now for our East Alabama Top 10 guys presented by Awards to Remember as we're going to turn to the screen here. Some big shakeups in non-region play tonight. So there's some changes here. some pretty big changes here. So let's begin. Number 10 in our East Alabama top 10, Coosa Christian. Now, Coosa Christian
Best
won.
1-5 team in the state.
That's right. Let me do some explaining on this one right here. Now, Coosa Christian has only lost that one game on the field to Geraldine. They won tonight technically on a forfeit to Heritage Academy out of Mississippi because Heritage had a death of a student, and so they forfeited that game. The news came this afternoon, got an email from the Athletic Association at 5:24 this afternoon that they have been forced to forfeit 4 football games. One of those a non-region game to Spring Garden, but they had to forfeit 3 region games to Valley Head, to Decatur Heritage, and to Galesville. So technically overall, they are over in the region. They can still get in the state playoffs, but I didn't drop them out of the top 10, but the reason I put them at 10, guys, to be honest with you, is I don't know how Coosa's going to react to this. So we'll have to wait and see. So because of that mystery there of how they're going to react to all this, and we also don't know who the ineligible player or players was, so they could be losing a very good player or players. We don't know that information, so I've got them at 10. Number 9 in our East Alabama top 10, making their first appearance this year, Southside. Only that one loss to Guntersville.
They deserve it.
And that's a undefeated Guntersville team. Number 8 in our East Alabama top 10 is Moody, another team making their debut. They have not lost to anyone in the state of Alabama. They're only lost to Bishop McNamara out of Maryland, so they're at number 8. Number 7, a team that actually lost tonight, but they had a 2-touchdown lead against the number 6 team in the state on the road and lost on a 2-point conversion. So Oxford drops a little bit, but going to keep them at number 7. Number 6 in our East Alabama top 10, that is going to be Jacksonville, hanging in there tough, very impressive tonight. Yeah. Okay. I took Chad's advice. Number 5 in our East Alabama top 10 is Hanley, because Hanley beat Jacksonville, and Hanley tonight beat a good Lynette team. So I'm putting Hanley against Jacksonville because they beat the Golden Eagles head-to-head. Number 4 in our East Alabama top 10, Randolph County. Big jump. Big jump.
I would put them there. I'd put them there.
Wadley's out of it because they lost big time tonight. Randolph County at number 4. You saw them play tonight. We're going to get your thoughts on all these teams in a moment. Number 3 in our East Alabama top 10, that is Central of Clay County, standing pat there with that big win at Alexandria. Number 2, no question about this one either, Cherokee County tonight, or last night, that big win at Munford. We saw them for the whole game at Munford last night, winning 56-10. And number 1 remains B.B. Comer Tigers, 42-6 over Sachs. That, by my estimation, that's 10 really tough, strong football teams in their respective classifications. So, guys, go.
You go first.
You want to sure?
You go first.
All right. The only thing about this one, of course, I saw some Facebook stuff. Apparently there was a lot of laundry on the field tonight in the fourth quarter. That's coming from the home crowd or the Ox crowd, so I'm not sure how much depends on that. But obviously they had it in their grasp, a big revenge win like the other ones that they've had this year. Had it in their hands. They lost it at the last minute, but I think that they're gonna come out of this one smarting a little bit.
Coach, what stands out to you?
Well, first of all, I look at Southside in their one loss. When's the last time we saw Guntersville and Scottsboro fixed to face undefeated?
Yes. And those are big rivals, as you know, through the years.
Yeah,
and Guntersville's they've been in that position of being 5-0, but Scottsboro's not had very many times where they've been in that position.
I watched them play tonight. Very impressive. Offensive line is huge, and they're not slow. They got the quarterback back. They got skilled players. Got a new tailback, but to me, he's better than the one they had last year. And they can throw it, and they play great defense, and they can kick. So
great quarterback too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He's a great athlete and great basketball player. But guys, y'all don't give up on Wadley because they're 1A, and they've got some great players to be 1A. And they just got outclassed a little bit. They didn't have enough players. Randolph County's got almost 45 people over there on the sidelines, and they play a lot of guys. And I can't wait till, and they are, unless something bad happens, B.B. Comer and Real Town. And guys, look,
Not
people
fake
act like
town, real town.
Yeah, and people act like that. Where's real town? It's in Notasoga. They've been playing football forever.
Yeah, but I'm being honest with you. The only time I really knew how they were, where they were, or who they were was the guy used to call on a Five Bob show that was from Real Town. What was it? What was his name?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, John.
Well, the thing about Real Town
Charles.
is
From Real Town.
Charles from Real Town. And the other thing about Real Town is that was the longtime home when he was the head football coach at Auburn. That's where his farm was. Pat Dye was in Real Town.
Okay.
Been to that before.
And I'm going to go ahead and I am going to say this, okay?
Real Town's never been talked about this much ever.
People are screaming about why do you play Real Town? Good question. But I give credit to Coach Joby Burns. They needed a ball game. He found a game, and he wasn't going to back up because they might be good. They went out there and played and did the best they can and get ready for next week. And that's what you got to do. You play whoever's available.
Coach, one more thing that you may not have thought about in lieu of what happened with the AHSA and Coosa Christian. Coosa could wind up as the number 4 team in Region 7.
Yeah.
Going to play the number 1 team in Region 6, which right now looks like it's going to be Wadley. We thought this matchup might be the North Alabama championship game, and now possibly we could have Coosa Christian and Wadley first round of the playoffs.
Wow.
Very, very well could. You just got to find out who are the 4 people.
Yeah.
Could be
on a 1A school, losing 3 or 4 people is
massive.
Could be
very
interesting.
Yep.
Let's tell you about awards to remember. Awards to remember. If you're looking for any kind of awards, if you're looking for anything whatsoever as far as trophies, plaques, medals, any type of awards, you have to go to Awards to Remember. AwardsToRemember.com. Visit their showroom. See some of these awards in person at 4017 Alabama Highway 144 in Ohatchee. Give them a call, 892-2500. One of the top 10 awards dealers in the entire Southeast. Awards to Remember, bringing you our East Alabama Top 10. We come back more as we roll on. As a matter of fact, Team of the Week's just around the corner. Back in a moment.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling. And home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
If you love football and you love the tailgate, Team One Chevy in Gadsden, the perfect tailgate vehicle, they have it for you. Kevin Riggin, his team over there, they'll set you up with a Chevy Silverado, perhaps a Tahoe, a Suburban. And right now, still one more day left tomorrow where you can register to win a huge Auburn or Alabama tailgate package with a huge school tent, school chairs, much more. Just go by Team One Chevy in Gadsden at 413 East Meagan Boulevard there in East Gadsden. Earlier in the program, we had Munford and Cherokee County in here. Jacob Kelly, Bobby Tittle with us. Now we're going to have the highlights of that big win by Cherokee County last night against the Munford Lions, 56-10, as we go back to Chad and our team sports highlights.
Thank you, John. They were obviously in a pretty good mood tonight. That's because the Cherokee County offense is rolling. The Warriors traveled to Munford last night, averaging just over 42 points per game to include a 55-0 win last week over Hansville. Let's go to the highlights and check it out for ourselves. Munford coming out on the night, on a Thursday night. Crowd was pretty good there for a Thursday night game. All red for the Lions as they come out taking on the vaunted Cherokee County Warriors. This is the punt for Munford. Cherokee County, this is Luke Young is going to take this, and he's going to return it back 30 yards for the Warriors. Staying on offense, Warriors now dropping back to pass. Carson Chestnut, 21-yard touchdown reception from QB Carson Tittle, PAT good. 7-0 Cherokee County. Munford now on offense. Kadarian McCoy, nice 11-yard run as he gets pulled down as he goes out of bounds. Then Munford's Tank Edmondson, we've talked about him a good bit this year. 5-yard run for a first down. More Edmondson after that. This time he's going to take it straight up the gut for 8 yards and another Munford first down. More Tank Edmondson this time over the left side for a 9-yard gain as they keep matriculating the ball down the field, as old Hank Stram used to say with the Kansas City Chiefs. Edmondson this time 22 yards, and that's for a score. PAT good. We are tied up at 7 apiece. There goes that man again, though. Cherokee County's Jacob Cornejo, 63 yards with a beautiful stiff arm on the right side. In there for the touchdown, but penalty makes it only a gain of 18 yards. They would pull it back. Fisher Young, 22-yard run down to the Munford 11-yard line. Next play, quarterback Carson Tittle, 11-yard keeper, touchdown. PAT is good, and Cherokee County is back on top with that offense. 14-7 is the score. Munford quarterback Tank Edmondson this time fumbles the ball. Tristan Brown returns the fumble for a touchdown. PAT is good. Cherokee County is on top, 21-7 at that point. So they scored 55 last week. Not to be outdone, they go 56 this week. That offense is smoking.
28-10 at the half, 28-0 in the second half. Cherokee County rolling last night, 56-10 over Munford. Let's go back now to our Team One Chevy of Gadsden. We got to going to look at some of our more region rundown. This is our last classification to look at tonight, and this is Class 1A, the two Class 1A regions. We just mentioned Class 1A Region 6. You got Wadley, Spring Garden, who lost tonight in a non-region game at home with 30 seconds to go in the game to Cedar Bluff. Victory Christian, Raglan, Winterboro, Donahoe. It's kind of getting a little murky there. I think Wadley's at the top, but there's Spring Garden's beaten Victory. They still got to have Raglan to go. They've beaten Winterboro. Still a lot to be decided, guys, in 1A Region 6.
I think Raglan kind of opened up some eyes tonight with that win against PB.
I think Raglan and Spring Garden and Raglan and Winterboro will be big games.
Playoff spot for sure.
That's a good observation. Class 1A Region 7. The ruling from the AHSAA today really threw this into all kinds of chaos. Coosa Christian now, that is correct, at the bottom. They are now 0-3 because of forfeits. They can still make the playoffs, but they may likely, Coach, be going in as the 4 seed.
That's true, and what we have to find out is who those guys are that's not going to be playing, and what does that do to their team? I mean, what if it was a quarterback, or what if it was a major player on the team? That's what we'll have to find out for them. If not, they got to win. They got some big games ahead of them.
Most notable of that is probably some matchups coming up with Cedar Bluff, who beat Spring Garden, and also with Appalachian, who has a good team and is undefeated in region play and 4-1 overall. They had an open date tonight. Decatur Heritage now leading that region 3-0 now with the forfeit wins and 6-0 overall, making Decatur Heritage with a perfect record. The Calhoun County Quarterback Club coming up on Monday night at the Anniston Country Club. They are going to be meeting once again. Still not too late for you to be involved with that, with the Calhoun County Quarterback Club. The guest speaker coming up this Monday will be Greg Seitz, Director of Athletics at Jacksonville State. Huge win for JSU last night on national television. Oh, it's a great fourth quarter to watch. Jack State comes from behind to win that game 35-28 in the most unlikely of ways. Greg Seitz will be happy. He'll be there talking about that on Monday at the Calhoun County Quarterback Club at the Anniston Country Club. Kevin Gibson, 256-453-4886. And our colleague Chad Barnett just pointed out John Hanna coming on October the 16th. If you want to go and check that out, call Kevin Gibson, 256-453-4886. When we come back, Spirit Scholarship nominees. We're going to meet nominees from Ohatchee and from White Plains next.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Westbrook Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Back on high school football, Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Let's tell you about Red Threads. They sell officially licensed JSU apparel. They now sell local high school team apparel, and they can prepare custom apparel for you. They handle all our t-shirts here at After the Game, our muscle team shirts and our Anniston Orthopedic Score shirts as well. Red Threads also has a storefront on the square in Jacksonville. you will not find more unique or better Jacksonville State merchandise than what you're going to see at Red Threads on the square in Jacksonville. Well, it is time. As a matter of fact, it's past time. The voting actually opened at 12 midnight tonight on the High School Football Alabama Facebook page for our Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship. 2 schools this week that will begin the voting. The voting began at midnight, and the voting is going to continue all the way into next Friday at 12 noon. Next Friday at 12 noon is when we're going to end the voting for these 2 schools, and those 2 schools will be White Plains and Ohatchee. Now, here's the way this works. We have 19 schools, every school in Calhoun County, every school in Cherokee County, and then there are 4 nominees, 2 male, 2 female, from each high school that are nominated by the school. Then you, the fans at our Facebook page, you go ahead and you vote that down from 4 to 2 from each school, getting us to our top 38. The top 38 each get a $50 gift card, courtesy of Farmers and Merchants Bank. And then you'll be voting 2 of those, 1 male, 1 female student athlete from all of East Alabama that will receive a $1,500 college scholarship, courtesy of the folks at Farmers and Merchants Bank. I think we're ready to roll now with that. And as we have coming up, we're going to begin with White Plains, the 2 females from White Plains. First, we have Isabella Higgins. She's a volleyball, basketball, and track athlete with a 4.1 GPA. Also, we have Haley Smith, volleyball and softball player with a 3.97 GPA. The 2 male athletes from White Plains High School, the quarterback Dylan Barksdale, football, basketball, baseball, and track athlete with a 3.64 GPA, and also Cooper Tenney, a football and baseball player with a 3.57 GPA. Those are the 4 nominees from White Plains High School. Representing Ohatchee High School, the female athletes are Ellie Carton, a volleyball and softball player with a 3.9 GPA. The other female nominee from Ohatchee is Kiana Garber, a volleyball and basketball player with a 3.9 GPA. 2 male athletes from Ohatchee High School, Jesse Baswell, great football player, also plays basketball and baseball with a 3.1 GPA. And also Will Folsom, a football and baseball player for the Indians with a 3.4 GPA. Voting is open right now all the way through 12 noon next Friday for Ohatchee and White Plains in our Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship. And speaking of Farmers and Merchants Bank, they have given away $24,000 in scholarships to local high school athletes in just the last 6 years, serving you at locations in Piedmont, Jacksonville, Anniston, Oxford, and now they are in Center, the only bank that offers the School Spirit debit cards for all the local schools in Calhoun and Cherokee County. We've got one more thing left to do, but it's the most important thing left to do, and that is to announce our TEDS Floors and Beyond Team of the Week next.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you are an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you. But when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Another beautiful day, a big day of college football tomorrow. You got Georgia and Auburn in the middle of the afternoon. At night, late at night, you got Alabama, Mississippi State. A lot of folks will be in front of the TV. A lot of folks will be grilling out tomorrow. And you need to go to Johnson's Giant Food. 5 locations to serve you in Etowah and Calhoun counties. They're in Gadsden, Ottawa, Jacksonville, Coldwater, and they have the best meats in East Alabama, cut and packaged fresh every day. But hey, maybe you're thinking, I really don't want to grill. That's a lot of work. I got a lot going on tomorrow. Then you go check out Johnson's Deli, because their deli is fantastic, and I speak from experience. Smoked meats already prepared, fried chicken, chicken fingers, chicken salad, and then while you're there, they've got all the soft drinks. They've got the chips, the dip, everything you need for your football party tomorrow or anytime. Johnson's Giant Food. And of course, they bring you our concession stand of the week. Time for our final extra point of the night, brought to you by Red Threads. Class 4A Montgomery Catholic and Class 7A Sparkman boast the state's leading scoring defenses midway into the season. The Knights and Senators have each only given up an average of 4 points per game. Catholic has posted 3 shutouts in 5 games heading into tonight, while Sparkman has recorded 4 shutouts in 5 games heading into tonight's action. Our final Red Threads extra point of the night. And the final thing we have to do tonight is to announce to you our Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week. And it's a pretty easy choice this time. They were down 2 touchdowns late in the game, came back to tie it, send it to overtime, and in overtime at home at Barney Hood Stadium in Southside, the Southside Crimson Panthers, they are the Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week. We will be bringing the Tough Guy Trophy from Awards to remember, the Anniston Orthopedic Score shirts, the Ted shirts. We'll be bringing those to Smoke Neck Tech at Southside to Coach Miles Holcomb and the Southside Panthers next week. Congratulations to Southside Team of the Week, and we'll see you back here next Friday night at 10 o'clock.
The High School Football Alabama Scoreboard is a production of Fairfax Garden Media.